Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox visit the Yankees tonight in Game 1 of a best-of-3 series in the wild-card round of the Major League Baseball playoffs. Garrett Crochet will oppose lefty Max Fried in a matchup of two of the top 5 pitchers in the American League. And for Crochet, he's come a long way since pitching for the last-place White Sox last year.
I think that I've always had a lot of self-belief, and I always wanted to be this guy that could throw Game 1 of a playoff series. So to be here now comes as no surprise.
All 3 games of this series will take place at Yankee Stadium. Alex Cora announced yesterday Lucas Giolito will miss at least this round of the postseason with an elbow problem, and because of this, he doesn't know who's going to pitch at the third and final game of this series if necessary. In other baseball news, we had a few managers that were fired yesterday. Texas got rid of Bruce Bochy. Minnesota fired Rocco Baldelli, and after finishing at 500, San Francisco let Bob Melvin go. Bruins played all their regulars for the first time last night. They lost a preseason game to Philadelphia 3-2 in overtime. Jeremy Swayman, 19 saves in net, and he went the distance. Bruins are 2-1-1 in games that don't count. They visit the Washington Capitals Thursday night. Patriots players have today off. They'll practice tomorrow and visit Buffalo Sunday night. They also had their game a week from Sunday in New Orleans flexed from a 4 p.m. kickoff to 1 o'clock Eastern time. And there were a pair of Monday night games last night. Miami beat the Jets 27-21, but they lost Tyreek Hill to a dislocated knee. And Denver beat Cincinnati 28-3. The Giants confirmed yesterday Malik Neighbors is indeed out for the season with a torn ACL. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Get
There's the potential there.
the Sports Hub app. Get the app.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
and Hardy
Who's Taylor the originator?
on 98.5.
Hello. Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What?
I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Mondays.
Well, I tell her the truth, I miss booty.
That problem is too large for the starch.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
And I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knock it back.
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
I have to think about what I want to write about. It forces me to slow down. Sometimes the mistakes that you deleted have really powerful messages in them.
There's the idiot Mike Lombardi talking complete nonsense about his to-do list on his typewriter.
Ultimately is what this job's all about, thinking.
Yeah, as opposed to any other white-collar job that is just about
Using your hands and building things from scratch.
And even that is thinking. Building things from scratch is thinking. Very few jobs require no thinking.
I have to think about what I want to write about.
It's like
do you?
cutting bonsai trees is essentially like the only thing that requires no thinking. It's getting into flow state and, completely ridding your mind of thought.
And I don't know that you can get a job cutting bonsai. I think that's, strictly a hobby.
No, you get a bunch of old cars, though, when you do it. All right. Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. We are in the Town Fair Tires studios. You can call us 617-779-0985. Watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. We're live, and then throughout the day you can hear us. Our podcast is up everywhere. This is a real story. I'm going to actually start with an email. It's from Brendan, and you guys got it too. He says, hello. I think this steamy write-up of the Giants locker room after the game needs to be reviewed by our favorite author, Gary Tanguay. All the best, Brendan. And it's called The Dart in the Fall, is what he calls it, because Gary Tanguay, our friend, wrote a book called The Arm in the Fall, featuring a hot Latino police officer, Rocky Suarez, and there was a murder around the Super Bowl and so on and so forth. This is a real Twitter post by Connor Hughes. I think we probably had Connor Hughes on the show before. I think he used to do the Jets, he did the Jets, and then someone like badmouthed his wife or something like that. I think that's it. I think that's who it is, but I think he's moved on to the Giants. So Here we go. You know, the Giants won on Sunday. Jackson Dart started his first game, and they won. And you saw Dayball after the game. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Dayball like rubbed his head against his head, and they were like hugging each other and everything.
Dart and Cam Scatterbull on the field after the game. You see that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
what up, Giants Nation? And Scatterbull goes in front of him and goes, woo, like he always does. I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's the two of them are the worst.
Oh, my God,
yeah.
I hate both of them.
I wouldn't look for them to win much more.
Oh, man.
Well, that's why Dayball was so excited, because he was like, now that we're playing you and we've won a game, I will not get fired. Now we can lose every other game. So East Rutherford, Jackson Dart was among the few players remaining in the Giants locker room. This is really the Twitter. Giants locker room. You could tell he was sore. The way he moved from the far corner showers to his stall. How he now stood collecting himself. Those 6 sacks, 10 hits by the Chargers defense radiated over him. That's when Brian Dayball joined as quarterback. The two had already embraced each other on the field, but this was different. It was quieter now, less around. Dayball reached out his hand, grabbed the back of Dart's neck, and brought him close. They held each other. Dayball then walked away with a smile. It felt like the start of something. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, twist gaze. Right? There's this prick Mississippi hick. He's got a turtleneck and a chain on.
The way he moved from the far corner showers.
In the news.
Over to
There's
his
this
stall.
little fat guy, and he's like, I'm gonna play this kid. Why? Lust.
Dart looked at Dayball and said,
Nothing like a good tushy.
He said, all right, we've won. Now it's time to reap the spoils. All right, young man. Whoa, not so fast. What you doing leaving the shower? Wait, you didn't bring a towel with you? No, there's no towel here. I guess a miscommunication. That's all right.
That's all right. What, you got sacked 6 times?
At the very least, this could take her mind off of her pain for a few hours.
I'll dry you with my body. I'll dry you with my body hair. Come here. You're smooth like an eel.
Yeah.
Scatterboo, scram. Stop trying. Scatterboo, out of here.
A scrababoo.
Yeah, scram, Scatterboo. Yeah. Woo, I get it. Now leave. I'm trying to seduce the quarterback. This sounds like the beginning of something, kid. Young lust. But
I'm trying to pitch woo. I don't need the scatterboo. Let's make it a poem. We'll have some rhyming parts in there. Whatever.
Connor Hughes must have been a Jets reporter because he has gotten fully romantic after a 1-3 start. So that must be because these are untold riches that he's experiencing right now.
Have we had Connor on?
I think we have had Connor on.
Yeah.
Have we?
I think so.
Okay.
I think we have. I know Connor Hughes has been on the show. I believe so. I think someone on. I don't know. It was like a real crappy thing to do, but like who was like a dick veteran. Oh! It wasn't a Jet. It was an ex-Jet. It was the safety that they took and traded to Seattle.
Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams. So Jamal Adams. Like, he put a video up and was just like, Jamal Adams made a mistake on this play, and Jamal Adams said, like, you made a mistake, and had a picture of his wife or something.
Oh, I remember that. I didn't remember it was Jamal Adams who did that.
Yeah, it was Jamal Adams, and he wasn't with the Jets, I don't think,
anymore. And it was Connor Hughes. That's right. I remember Connor Hughes was involved with that. Yes.
Oh, so he's still doing the Jets, too, because he's got articles on SNY about the Jets, and they're tremendous. game last night in Miami.
Wow, good recall on that, Fred.
That's pretty good.
What, the wife thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remembered that it was really, really odd. Like the Jamal Adams, it was completely like like it wasn't something that like a professional athlete, even like a crazy one, would do, because all Connor Hughes did was put a video up of Jamal Adams like not making a play and said Jamal Adams didn't make this play.
Oh, okay.
And Jamal Adams was on Twitter and took that so personally that he like attacked the guy's wife, which is out of bounds, you know. Even in like a radio stuff where it's improv. You don't go after like people's family, at least generally. That's, I would assume.
I believe the back and forth was he posted the play with a one-word caption that said "yikes," and then Jamal Adams posted a picture of his wife, said "yikes." Yeah.
And normally I would think that was kind of funny, but it wasn't. I remember thinking it was odd. Like, what are you so upset about? And why are you bringing the guy? And how did you think this was going to look? You know, his wife didn't do anything. You know, what's it matter who he's married to? He's talking about your play. Like, if he was like, Jamal Adams is a crappy father or something like that. Or, you know, Jamal Adams has, a terrible relationship with his parents or something. And Jamal Adams read it and was like, this isn't true. Then you start attacking the guy's family. It's not mature, but it's, an eye for an eye. But if someone shows a video of you playing in an NFL game and says, yikes, and then you go, oh, by the way, you married, in my opinion, an ugly woman. Not even to Connor Hughes, but to the wife. Like, why is that her fault? Why would you embarrass her publicly? You're not, and it's not even embarrassing him. You're embarrassed because that is really like embarrassing yourself. Because usually, inappropriate things, deep down, I have some respect for him, and I think that they're funny oftentimes. But that I did not. I was like, and this isn't just for the radio. I was like, Jesus, what the hell is wrong with you? You can't take someone saying that you're. Attack him personally. That would still be strange, but whatever. He's a reporter. He's a public figure. He's on TV. But his wife is just some lady. Like, what are you making her feel bad for? Now she's got to get up and have all these people, be in like the news. Like, I knew about it in Boston, and I didn't know about it from following Connor Hughes on Twitter. Like, it became a story.
Right.
Because as those things do. Someone does something on social media that the person might not have seen, and, maybe only a few thousand people see it, but then everyone picks it up to point out how bad it is, so everyone sees it.
God, Jamal Adams, like, double and tripled down on that. They went back to him, and he kept saying, yeah, he's been messing with me since I was a rookie. I wanted to say something to hurt him, and when people go low, I go lower. He said he was saying something about
mature, yeah.
He was saying something about me and something that I loved, so I'm going to go after something that he loves.
Or it could be perceived as staggering overreaction by a guy who's going to become a journeyman safety in this league.
Well, he is a journeyman safety in this league.
This is before he became that.
Oh, yeah. Because the Seahawks
he was still with the Jets and supposedly one of the better
I think he was with the Seahawks.
Oh, it was the Seahawks at the time?
When Connor Hughes did that, which is even more odd because it wasn't even. Well, I don't even know why he's following Connor Hughes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was with the Seahawks, and then the Seahawks gave up 2 number 1 picks for him.
Well, you remember, we're going way off against a player nobody cares about, but the point is, remember when Jamal Adams, like, tackled one of the mascots at the Pro Bowl, and he was like, okay, like this kid, he's a great safety for the Jets, and he's doing this at the Pro Bowl. What a guy to watch, and then about 2 years later, that was it for him.
Yeah, because he can't cover anyone, and he's a head case. He played in a game that I watched this year. He was like a street free agent.
Yeah.
I don't even think he was on a roster at the beginning of the season.
No, you're right. I remember this.
Yeah, and maybe it was a Patriot game that he was in. But, yeah, he was like a street free agent that had been picked up like after the season started.
Wait, you know why? You know why you saw him? Because he plays for the Raiders.
Okay, that's why I saw him. So,
street free agent, by the way,
right.
I think during camp. I think you're right about that.
And so he was a kid that went to LSU as a safety, was like a top I think he might have been he was a top 10 pick. And
6th.
Yeah, and then got moved for 2 first-round picks, and now is a journeyman, and he can't even be 30.
It's really funny, too, because Pete Carroll, the guy who knows Adams well, has him back with the Raiders. I mean, he wanted him so bad with Seattle that he's like, go 2 first-round picks. I need him in my secondary. And despite all the evidence to the contrary, he has him back, playing second in the secondary for his new team.
Yeah, he is a big disappointment. And everyone loved that pick, too. Everyone thought that was the greatest pick known to man. And what's funny is Baltimore took a kid from Notre Dame, a safety, in the top 10, or maybe in the top 15, but he was a kid that a lot of people thought was the best player in the draft. He ends up being the best safety in football, and they can't win. It's just sometimes you shouldn't take positions that high in the draft. Like, you shouldn't take a safety. It doesn't translate to wins. It didn't for the Jets. It didn't for the Seahawks. It just doesn't. A safety is a safety. So there you go. Jimmy has a very on the ball question. Jimmy, go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Fred, Hardy, John, and the rest of Beasley Media. Thank you. I've noticed in recent years the NFL games, box scores, I've noticed they don't put the officials in and they don't put attendance in anymore. I wonder why that is.
Well, it's the liberal media.
It's no longer part of the zeitgeist.
No longer. What was I going to say?
That was kind of an odd thing to be thinking about at 6:17 in the morning. Okay.
I think that might have been a Ben Mahler caller.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a Ben Mahler situation.
All right.
All right.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we will get to the bottom.
You know
of
what?
it.
That's a question for Dan Roach later on. He might have an answer. Dan might have interesting thoughts on that.
Dan texted me after the show yesterday and asked to come on. Dan texted me and he said, I'm going out to New York. I'm driving down. It's like, I'll be at the park tomorrow. I'm like, you want to come on at 7:20? He's like, yeah.
Yeah. I'll be at the park by then.
Yeah.
It's only 11 hours before first pitch. Yeah.
Got to be there for the noon, the 5, the 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
I wonder, you know what? He might actually be at the park. They might be doing
live hits.
Live hits outside.
I just put something into the Rundown channel on Slack. It's a video he made last night at 8:20. At the stadium. He's got to take already. He's got to take already on what's important in Game 1 of the 3-game wild card. So,
well, enjoying the experience, I would imagine.
Who doesn't love the Bronx at night?
It's not the Bronx of old. It's not the Bronx of the Bronx is burning, to my recollection. To my understanding, the Bronx is. They've pushed people out of Manhattan. You can't live in Manhattan really if you're under the age of 40, because you haven't made enough
money.
Well, unless you have generational wealth, you haven't made enough money to live there.
Yeah.
So, I don't think the Bronx is like the Bronx was. I think that you cannot live it. There used to be big swaths of Manhattan that no one would live in, so artists and things could move into these places for very cheap. That doesn't exist anymore. So. Harlem is now there's people that there's expensive places in Harlem. So I can only imagine that the Bronx is the same. So, Brooklyn, when you were a kid, Brooklyn was, the Dodgers was still there when you were a kid. But but Brooklyn, no one lived in Brooklyn. It was an enclave of Hasids and it was in the early 80s, it was at the very beginning of gentrification. And now Brooklyn is expensive.
Yeah.
But when I was in my 20s, Brooklyn is where, because young people when I was in my 20s got pushed out of Manhattan, so they started living in Brooklyn, and then everyone got pushed out of Brooklyn. So now I got to imagine people are living in the Bronx. When I say people, I mean people paying for places are living in the Bronx. It's not like the video for "Don't Push Me Close to
the Message."
The Message, where it looks like that place was just bombed. The Bronx was no joke.
That's right. That video is striking. Looking at it now,
it's like rubble. They're standing around in rubble.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Yeah. Because remember in the late 70s when the Yankees were in the World Series, like the Bronx was literally on fire.
Yep.
So that was going on. I think I read a book called The Bronx is Burning. All right, very good. We will be back in just a moment. We'll catch you up with everything that happened last night.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, it's Maz, and Rodenizer Home Services wants to get you into the game of your choice this fall. Just go to the 98.5 The Sports Hub contest page and enter for your chance to win a $500 gift card to put toward the game of your choice. Rules and restrictions apply, and be sure to schedule your $89 gas heating system check at Rodenizer.com today.
For the best deal on any name brand tire, get to Town Fair Tire. For the guaranteed lowest
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, what's going on in the streets?
Monday Night Football doubleheader. We'll start with an AFC East matchup between the Jets and the Dolphins. Jets on the doorstep early, first quarter.
Ball with the handoff. Up the middle, touchdown, Jets. Ball comes out. Fumble. It's on the ground. The Dolphins look like they have it, and they do at the 4-yard line. He went to the end zone, and the ball had come out at about the 3. Fitzpatrick knocked it loose.
And that was the dagger. Dolphins would go on to win 27-21.
It's true. The Jets allowed a field goal, and the kicked off allowed a field goal. Then they ran the ball
over
77 times, got down to the goal line, and Braylon Allen, and his like Stevenson-esque in his second effort, fumbles the ball.
At the 1.5 yard line.
At the 1.5 yard line.
And I thought, look, Miami's still a bad team.
There's still
what we found out is that the Jets were worse last night. I mean, Fred, you can speak to this more than I can, but the Jets are a really, really bad football team, like bottom 3 in the league bad.
Oh yeah, like they're the first team since like 1930 not to have a turnover, like to get a turnover, an interception or recover a fumble in the first 4 games. They were penalized 13 times. They fumbled 3 times. They lost 3 fumbles. They're atrocious. Their defense sucks. If Fields on a 4th and 1, it's a terrible play call, and he makes a tremendous run out of the backfield and scores a touchdown. If they don't get that, then this is a blowout. So no, they're terrible. They're terrible. They're not. Whatever Aaron Glenn's doing so far, it's interesting because Vrabel seems to have been able to right the ship here to make things like okay, which is all you really want, is just to be competitive and like be okay. But Glenn has not been able to do that. Vrabel's been able to do that with one offseason and one training camp, but
and
Glenn was not able to do that. And you can't. And it's not just because May's better than Fields, because that's not why they lost last night. Fields isn't the reason they lost last night. The reason they lost last night was penalties and turnovers, and their defense sucks.
Yeah.
So I mean, Glenn's a defensive coach. Obviously, what are you going to fire him? Like you're not going to fire him, but and I don't think this means he's not going to be a good coach. It's just he hasn't been able to do anything with this team this year.
It doesn't matter. I mean, we're talking about 2 bad teams here. I wonder if between Tyreek Hill going out in the third quarter and Darren Waller coming out of nowhere and playing last night and scoring 2 touchdowns, it's not even the Waller so much. Those 2 things happening. If Waller isn't playing in that game, the Jets can still win it. I mean, he's responsible for 2 of those touchdowns. The Dolphins still can't really do anything.
Well, one of the touchdowns was the first touchdown by Waller was on a 4th and 5, 4th and goal from the 5. And Sauce Gardner was all over him. And Waller somehow, because he's 6'5", came down with the ball. And Gardner had great coverage on him and was like moving him out of the back of the end zone. And I don't know how Waller got his second foot down. So, I don't know what
he
to
used
tell
to
you.
be a really good tight end too.
I think he always
retired, and then all of a sudden here he is with Miami.
Right, and so he's a huge target in the back of the end zone, and and then the other touchdown he was wide open, but the touchdown that was the first touchdown he scored. Only he could have scored. There's no one else on that team that could have made that play because there's no one on that team that's that big. He's 6'5". He got up in the air. There was nothing Sauce Gardner could do. It was good coverage. but and Sauce went to go knock him out of the end zone, and I don't know how Waller got his second foot down, but he did.
It didn't look like it in real time, did it?
No, but yeah, it didn't look like he got it down in real time. So I will tell you this, but from watching just a lot of games, the flags are a little ridiculous. Like the amount of flags being thrown is a little crazy. Like I know a lot of it was pre-snap stuff, and you're going to call that, but 13 penalties, like you shouldn't be throwing 13 flags. Like Garrett Wilson and an offensive pass interference, he made a highlight catch.
I'm glad you brought that one up. I hated that call.
Right.
Hated that call.
And then they called the Jets for some offensive penalty, and their left guard doesn't have a helmet on. A defensive lineman for the Dolphins rips the guy's helmet off. How is there not offsetting penalties? Like, I can even go watching it, oh, the left guard's helmet flew off. Yeah. That's not his fault. Like, if your helmet comes off, that means someone had their hands in your face.
Somebody was doing something wrong.
Yeah, just throw the flag. Like, how did you not see that? But you saw the Jets hold, or whatever the hell the Jets were called for. But you didn't see the guy's helmet come off.
You saw somebody with their hands outside the numbers. I was like, now that we can't have. What, helmet? No,
because when I was done with my son's school thing, I was watching the game with my son, and then it just got to the point where we watched Universal Basic Guys on Hulu, and then I went back to the game because it's just taken forever, and there's no like rhythm to it. It's just, I know that, look, pre-snap penalties you're going to call, and the Jets are a very undisciplined team, and all of that's true. But I'm just talking about the NFL in general. There's too many field goals, and there's too many penalties called. They got to let some stuff go. And especially in the defensive backfield, those guys hold on every play. There's no way you can cover without holding. Like, you have to hold. And I understand there's like an agreement that you like let go at a certain point and things like that. But, if you're going to call defensive holding 5 times a game, I don't know what to tell you. Unless it's egregious, I don't understand why you're calling it.
And what's egregious is different from back judge to back judge to back judge. I mean, I don't know if it was the Jet game or the other Monday night game where one of the linebackers actually had a tight end by his horse collar as he went over the middle, and they didn't call it. And that was a good 10 yards down the field, but he had a hold of it. He held the guy up for like a step or two and then let go just enough to knock him off his route. And so the tight end or whoever it was over the middle didn't get the football. So, well done. You played the system. But you have bump and run down the sideline and hand fighting, and the cornerback's just a little too over-aggressive. He gets called.
Well, if they're going to if they're going to cross in the middle of the field, there's nothing you can do. You have to hold on to the guy. You can't run step for step with the guy when you don't know where he's going.
And that's the thing. It's the interpretation of the rule and how much you can get away with. And it's almost as if everyone is over-aggressive at the beginning to figure out where that line is.
Right.
It's like basketball. You can get away with certain things on a low post and the clutching and the grabbing, and then, it depends on how the refs are going to call the game that night.
It's like if you have 3 receivers lined up on one side and they cross routes and there's like picks, how the hell is anyone supposed to? I mean, you completed every play. There'd be someone open every play. How the hell are you supposed to stick with that? Even in zone, like if that becomes your responsibility and you're standing flat-footed and the guy cuts in front of you, how the hell are you supposed to
that's
keep up with him without hanging on to him for a second?
And those, what are they called? Rub routes?
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be. Offenses have to test that out. Okay, are the refs going to call this? Are they not going to call that? I mean, it's the same everywhere, and unfortunately, the refs are calling everything here in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's a little nuts.
The play is grinding to a halt.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah. So anyway, I wouldn't worry about the Jets. So.
And keep in mind, the Patriots still get to play the Jets twice, and they have another game against Miami as well later in the season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are games where you would think the Patriots would be favored.
Especially with Tyreek Hill going down in the third quarter last night.
Tyreek Hill, the injured Dolphin, following his reception, they called for a cart, Joe. He's on the cart now.
Oh, the guys Dolphin players coming over to shake his hand and pat him.
The whole sideline came over, right?
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
No, it is not a good sign for Tyreek Hill.
He was smiling.
Oh, well, then I guess he's okay.
It was funny. They were taking him out in a wheelchair, and he had his. It was funny. They were taking him out in a wheelchair, but it was odd. They were taking him out in a wheelchair, and he had this big brace on his knee. They were taking him to the hospital, and they had a guy pushing the wheelchair, and then a guy in front of the wheelchair holding his leg, which I have not seen before. I don't know why
weird.
they couldn't put his.
They have the
Right.
little thing out in front.
I don't know why that was not of use to them. They decided to just have a guy hold his leg and walk backwards. It was odd.
Adam Schefter tweeted this morning, and I saw an interview with Drew Rosenhaus late last night where it's like, well, obviously the knee's dislocated. They're going to undergo tests to see if any ligaments were torn. According to Adam Schefter this morning, multiple ligaments torn, including his ACL, in addition to the knee dislocation.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll play again.
What I'm saying is this isn't a this year injury. It sounds like this is a far into the future problem for Tyreek Hill.
31 years old.
Because even when he comes back, the thing is his speed. I mean, that's just it.
That's what he's got. And if he doesn't have that, he comes back, and now he's 32. And there was another game last night, sort of. The Bengals were in Denver to take on the Broncos.
Empty set, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Shotgun snap, Bo to the end zone. Ball is caught. That is a great catch by Cortland Sutton. Denver touchdown.
That made it 21-3 in the second quarter. And not a lot to watch in this one.
By the way, Patriots also have Cincinnati on their schedule later this season.
Yeah, not a wrecking crew, not a huge problem for the Patriots.
And again, this team is young and inexperienced enough where you're going to trip and fall over and lose one of these games. But, I mean, there's a lot of bad football being played, and a lot of these teams are on your schedule this year.
Yeah, it turns out your division's not very good. The Jets are worse than I thought they'd be.
Miami's
just bad, and so you're the second best team in the division, so that's good. And then Burrow's hurt, and you play him before he comes back, so that's good. And then the rest of your schedule is pretty easy. So if you by somehow win next Sunday night in Buffalo, then you can start thinking about making the playoffs. I mean, you're not going to win 11 games. I don't think you're going to win the division, but you can start thinking about making the playoffs.
Bo Nix last night, 29 of 42 for 326 yards. 2 touchdown throws to 2 different receivers. He rushed for another one. Reminiscent of Drake May the other day.
I thought I had good vision today. I thought I did a good job of seeing things. We had a good plan, and I was really clued into what I needed to see, and the guys just get open.
That's it. Throwing it to the open guy and spreading the ball around, just like Drake on Sunday. Yeah. Throw it to the open guy. Yeah.
All right. Well, it was a feast to the senses yesterday.
Yeah, 28-3, by the way, the final last night in Denver.
There you go. Wonderful football being played. So you did the big event for David Andrews yesterday. I talked to David Andrews after the show.
First thing he said to me when I saw him last night was, why does Fred think I big timed him? What is that? I said, he's very sensitive. And he said, he is sensitive. He told me he was sensitive. I said, yeah, I don't think he was lying when you said that, and I'm not lying when I tell you he's very sensy, and any perceived slight is a slight. And I said, now you have to make amends, David. So expect a call from him later.
Thank you. It's about time.
The event was
sensitive in meaning I can read facial cues and see things, and then I know when I'm not wanted. It was heartbreaking. I explained to him, I'm like, first of all, I'm kidding around in the air, but second of all, like, I just didn't think you knew who I was. I mean, he walked into the room, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And, like, he put out his hand, and he was just like, huh. So I'm like, oh. I mean, he just does. Maybe he just thinks like
he shook your hand. Oh, yeah. Now I thought you were crazy before, but now I see what you're saying.
No, you know what I'm saying.
You
saw it. One of you two saw it.
I didn't.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
I thought one of you two saw it.
No. Sorry, didn't see it.
Well, anyway, he was just like, and so I was like, oh, okay. It was odd.
He didn't kiss you?
No. How was Jim Rice? Did he shake your hand? Was he nice last night?
I don't think Jim Rice likes me.
Yeah. Okay. So Hardy, let's
pattern.
do this. Last night, did Jim Rice shake your hand?
Yes.
Did he like you?
He didn't like anybody.
Okay, but he shook your hand. What, did he not kiss you? I thought if someone shakes your hand, then they automatically like you. Funny how that works, huh? Jim Rice was a dick to Hardy last night. So, according to Hardy. So, I mean, I never said Dave Andrews was a dick either. I never said Dave Andrews was a dick. He said Jim Rice was a dick.
Not on the air.
No, but now it's out. You're going to attack me,
Fred,
you hypocrite.
that was where Fred had had enough. That was like,
You're
all
gonna attack
right,
me.
get away from me.
I would actually- I would
it's time for
actually-
you to sit down.
Now this is going to be an awful announcing that Hardy thinks Jim Rice is a dick. It's
I would
the first guy
actually
ever.
be angry with you right now if I thought Jim Rice cared, knew who I was, cared about anything.
Newsflash: Jim Rice is a dick. I don't think that's going to make any radar. It kept him out of the Hall of Fame, for Christ's sake.
Oh man,
I don't think that. I don't. Line.
I didn't feel slighted. I kind of felt like that something, not me, but something was validated in my brief interaction
congratulations,
with
you're
him.
part of the club.
You're like,
good
oh,
for you.
Yeah. It wasn't even like a big time. It was just, dick is the wrong word. Just dismissive. Like, I don't need to know you. I don't need to know who you are. I don't need to have you in my life. And
No,
he's not wrong.
If I was going to honestly honestly, I just didn't think David Andrews knew who I was. He was walking into studio and I was walking out of studio. Usually, like, if Michael Holley comes in or something, you're like, hey, what's up? Or even if, like, someone I don't know who's filling in comes in, like say, the guy that does post game with Joe, what's his face? Whatever. Like, I'll go, hey, and then they'll go, hey, what's up? And I'll go, hey, nice to meet you. Like, you know, and then when Dave Andrews came in, like, I came out, I'm like, hey, and he was standing at the door, like, we were crossing, we were going into this. He was coming into the room I was in to go on the air, and I was leaving the room to get off the air. And I went, hey, what's going on? And he was like, oh, yeah. And so I was just like, oh, he doesn't know that I'm on the air, or he doesn't know who I am. That's all I was saying. And so I thought it was.
It was just such like a polar opposite of the way everyone was last night and generally is at these things. Like, if you know each other, even in passing, whether it's, David Andrews, who we know, but like Rob Ninkovich was there. It's not just, it's a handshake and like a half hug.
How did Ninkovich look last night?
Fantastic.
The beard was good. It was colored
It
correctly.
was dark in there, so I'm
not surprising.
I
You
didn't
blended
think about
right
it.
in.
I didn't think about it, but I didn't really get a chance to look. But I saw Wiggy last night. We're like, oh, what's up? And it doesn't matter who you run into. Everyone's happy to see each other or meet somebody for the first time.
Right.
And that just wasn't the case with Mr. Rice, who I did call him. I said, Mr. Rice, it's a pleasure to meet you. This is my wife, Marcy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good that you can relate. All right, and I never said that David Andrews was a dick at any point. So there you go. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox visit the Yankees tonight in game one of their best-of-3 wild card series. It'll be Garrett Crochet on the mound for the Red Sox against lefty Max Fried. Sox number 3 starter Lucas Giolito out for this round of the playoffs with a sore elbow. Bruins preseason continued with a loss last night, 3-2 in a shootout to Philadelphia. David Pastrnak an assist in his preseason debut. Bruins visit the Washington Capitals on Thursday, and the Patriots players have today off. They'll practice tomorrow. They visit Buffalo Sunday night. Their game against New Orleans a week from Sunday flex to a 1 p.m. kickoff. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Premier Basement Waterproofing. It's the spooky season, but you know what's most frightening? Water in your basement. So call our guys at Premier and never be scared again. 844-LIVE-DRY or premierbasement.net. It's Halloween. Say it with me. It's game over for water. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
about kind of beyond the round?
I think at this point, still just collecting information to figure out, and we'll make a decision from there.
All right, John, you're in this waist deep. What do you know?
He's got an elbow problem. He underwent major elbow surgery in March of 2024. The UCL with the internal brace, the thing that Trevor Story underwent a couple of years ago, and he's thrown 150 innings this year. I mean, this is the year after massive elbow surgery. I mean, the Red Sox have Giolito is 50 or 60 innings beyond his previous career high in innings pitched. Bayo's beyond his career high in innings pitched. Giolito's got 150 innings after major elbow surgery. I mean, they've been pushing it. They were due for something like this. Unfortunately, they got through the last month with 3 starters, and now you've lost one. So, I mean, this was bound to happen. I'm not surprised.
All right. So, Alex Cora, what happens if we get to Game 3 in this series?
So who would be the candidates for that third game?
Like I said, we had some kids that started this week, and we'll see how the first 2 games go, and then we'll decide for if needed for Game 3.
I can't wait for the Red Sox spin because it's going to be Kyle Harrison. Harrison will be the next guy up. He's going to pitch Game 3, and the spin from Breslow and ownership will be, thank God we made the Devers trade. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this kid for Game 3. And that's when it's the reporter's job to point out, you didn't trade for this guy to pitch playoff games. You didn't have him in the major leagues until 2 weeks ago. It's blind luck that he happens to be here when you needed a starter. That's the spin you'll get from the Red Sox.
Why does that have to be Harrison? Why couldn't it be Dusty?
Is May here, or is he?
He's in Fort Myers.
Okay.
Okay. So Dustin May will not be in.
That's a shock. That's shocking.
Another guy coming off major surgery that blew through his career innings high, that has a sore elbow, much like Giolito. You know, I mean, May's way beyond his career high too. So I mean, they are very fortunate to be where they are, and it will go. I go back to what I said yesterday: is that this is all gravy. They pushed everything to the limit. They squeezed all the toothpaste out of the tube, and they did it. They're here. Congratulations. Whatever you get from now on is gravy.
You'll be disappointed if they don't win today.
Well,
they should win this one. I will be a little disappointed because this is your guy. You know, clearly this is your horse. He's the second best pitcher in the American League. Better, and by the way, Fried isn't far behind him. He's a top 5 pitcher in the American League too. But you should win this one. After this, everything else is off the table.
And according to Tom Caron last night, he told me, going back now for 3 years, this best-of-3 format for the wild card, the winner of the first game has gone on to win every single time. And 10 of those 12 series have been done in 2 games. So winning the first game, if history means anything, means everything.
That's so odd. I don't understand why that would be the case. I don't know what winning the first game, how that gives you any kind of benefit in a 3-game series other than you're up a game. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why that would give you a benefit in Game 2. I don't understand. I mean, you're up a game in the series.
I guess just because it's such a short sample, and it's odd that it would have happened every single time, but winning the first game of even a best of 7 increases your chances. I don't know, go across basketball and hockey.
Yeah,
I would think that
it's going to raise your chances of winning the series, but I don't know why it would raise your chances of winning Game 2. So in a best of 3, you got to win 2 games. There's only 3 games, so I don't know why winning Game 1 would raise the chances you winning Game 2. There's 3-game series all the time during the regular season, and winning Game 1 doesn't mean you're going to win Game 2. I don't. What specifically about a 3-game series is such an advantage? It seems odd to me. It seems like something that's just kind of a coincidence more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, there's more sweeps than anything. The Rays won 2 back in 2020. The Astros won 2 that same year. The Yankees won 2 that same year. It's like, now you just go in there and get a quick couple.
Well, yeah, winning, I guess, 2. I don't know.
That's how about Garrett Crochet though? You up for this big rivalry? This whole Red Sox Yankees thing that you're now a part of, and I'm sure you have your own feelings about.
Garrett, what is your earliest memory of a Yankee-Red Sox game that maybe you watched, and I just wonder what you took from it and if you ever envisioned yourself being in the middle of it?
Not really any memories, to be honest. I wish I could give you a better answer there, but, outside of watching the series on Netflix, don't really have any memories of that.
I like the honesty.
I don't
know what you're talking about. I just got here. I have to pitch tomorrow. It's a playoff game. That kind of focused on that.
Yeah,
good for you.
You don't know about the lore and all the things. What are you talking about?
Dozens of writers are going to be angry.
Well, I mean, they all have books. There's hundreds and hundreds of writers that have wrote books about it.
What about 04, though? What were your thoughts? I was 1 year old.
Yeah, I was 5.
Yeah,
I can't help you. I'm sorry.
I was not even walking yet, so I don't care about what happened in 04.
It
true. Means nothing to me.
In Crochet's case, seriously, he was like 5 years old in nursery school.
All right.
Kindergarten.
We will be back in just a moment. A team that didn't make the playoffs is the Mets, and one person is very upset about that.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5.
After an 89-win regular season, tonight they open up a best-of-3 American League wildcard series against the New York Yankees at the Stadium. Sox were 9-4 against this team during the regular season, but lost 2 of the final 3 meetings. The guy who won the one game in that series, Garrett Crochet, pitches tonight against lefty Max Fried. Sox will also be without Lucas Giolito for at least this round of the postseason with a sore elbow, and that leaves Alex Cora with a tough choice for a Game 3 starter.
So who would be the candidates for that third game?
Like I said, we had some kids that started this week, and we'll see how the first 2 games go, and then we'll decide for if needed for game 3.
In other baseball news from yesterday, the Texas Rangers fired manager Bruce Bochy, Minnesota fired Rocco Baldelli, and San Francisco fired Bob Melvin. The Bruins preseason continued with a loss, 3-2 in a shootout to Philadelphia. David Pastrnak an assist in his exhibition debut. Morgan Geekie a goal. Bruins visit the Washington Capitals Thursday in Game 5 of their 6-game schedule. Patriots players have today off. They'll practice tomorrow. They visit Buffalo Sunday. Their kickoff against New Orleans a week from Sunday has been flexed from 4 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And there were a pair of Monday night games last night. Miami beat the Jets 27-21, but they lost Tyreek Hill to a dislocated knee and reportedly a torn ACL as well. Denver beat Cincinnati 28-3. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. 24-hour on-call service for your clog drain emergencies. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
And now, back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
The 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball hit on the ground right side. Picked by Edwards. Throws to second one. Lopez to first. A double play. A killer of a double play as it ends the Mets season.
Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. The New York Mets at one point this month lost 8 games in a row. All they had to do was win 2 out of 3 against the Marlins, and even win the last game of the season, and they got shut out. They have the second highest payroll in baseball, Jonathan.
Yes.
To the Dodgers.
Yes.
They have an owner.
It's either them or Philadelphia, but they're up there, yeah.
Sure. Well, they have an owner that is he's spend happy. You can't get enough of spending money, so it is nice. By the way, you're going to hear arguments that Milwaukee, look at Milwaukee, they were the best team in baseball, and they don't have a big payroll. I was reading something about your chances, like 6 of the top 10 payrolls in baseball are like in the play. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, because the Mets don't make the playoffs, and they have a high payroll, that's considered somehow justification for not having a salary cap, and it's nonsense. Because, yeah, it's a big story the Mets didn't make the playoffs because they have a high salary threshold. No. They have a high payroll.
Yeah, Mets, Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies, top 4.
Right, and 3 of those 4 teams are in the playoffs.
Toronto, by the way, 5.
Yeah, so 4 of the 5 top payroll teams are in the playoffs. You can pay to make the playoffs. There will be a team that doesn't make it, but for every one that doesn't make it, 4 will get in. So it's nonsense, and it's not good for anybody. Well, look at the ratings, the Dodgers, Yankees. Okay, but there's a whole season to be played. And if, 3/4 of the teams in the league it's better just not even watching it because there's no way they're going to compete. How the hell do you expect to have a vibrant sport? You do need people to like teams other than the Red Sox, Yankees, and Dodgers. That's a necessity. There's a whole middle of the country that needs fans. But it's up to the owners to spend money. Well, they're not. So you have an issue. It's a big problem in this country is they go, well, what about, and then you're like, well, it's happening. So you got to deal with it. There's some things that happen. You don't want them to happen, but they're happening. So how are you going to pivot and deal with it? That's what the situation is in baseball. Well, when the Mets lost Francesa, what I like about Francesa is he'll have an emergency podcast.
Yeah.
So podcasting, thank God.
Stop whatever he's doing.
Thank God.
Thank God podcasting came around or Francesa wouldn't have this outlet. So Francesa, will be on a Sunday watching the Mets. And then when the Mets lose, he'll be like, and then he'd call up the producer and, we got to do this. I got to go live. And then, because he's not enslaved to the radio corporations anymore. He's not enslaved the WFAN.
Imagine being that poor 22-year-old that gets that phone call.
Oh, but what a joy to work with Francesa. But Francesa from like Saratoga or wherever he is. Yeah, Mets, I got to get on. So he needs to get on. And Francesa was not happy with the Mets. He also was not happy with Aaron Glenn dancing down the sideline after the Jets blocked the field goal in the game against.
He doesn't suffer that foolishness.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. How about winning the game? So you don't want him to be happy? Okay. You want him to wear a pork pie hat and a suit on the sidelines as well? They used to have class. The coaches. All right, so here is him about the Mets.
This is such a colossal failure. This is one of the great, colossal, gutless collapses that we have seen from a team with talent in a very long time. There are bad teams.
Yeah, so Francesa, they don't make the playoffs. They have the high payroll. They tank at the end of the season, and Francesa is coming on telling you like it is. There's no one else willing to go out on this limb that the Mets tanked. I don't think anyone in that clubhouse is going to go, we did a pretty good job. Good for us not making the playoffs. And I love being in the media capital of New York and not making the playoffs too. Like they didn't know any of this was coming.
So far, none of this seems to necessitate an emergency podcast.
Hello, I'm here. Get the jingle jangle up.
We're live?
You live? You can't
What?
censor me anymore.
What? Talent in a very long time. There are bad teams. That's not them. They aren't a bad team. They're a gutless bunch of underachievers. That's what they are. Gutless to the core as a group. They should be ashamed of themselves.
And the pauses. Oh, my friend, the pauses. Because now he's like, why did I call this emergency meeting of the podcast? I'm running out of steam.
To say this.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
Okay? They're a gutless bunch of underachievers. That's what they are. Gutless to the core as a group. They should be ashamed of themselves. I never thought they would be this gutless.
He's pretty stuck on gutless.
Once again, this is why you needed to have the podcast. No one else is saying gutless. No one else is feeling shame.
I wonder if he typed this when he was thinking so he could get his thoughts out.
Hold on. Gutless bums.
Lombardi had a good point.
I never thought that they would not figure it out to this extent. I never thought their pitching would dissolve as badly as it did, but not just their pitching. They were a top-heavy lineup all year. They became a big...
You know who else was top-heavy? Rocky Suarez! She was like the Mets order, all top-heavy. Jugs! She wasn't fat, All her fat was located beneath her areolas.
You're wrong about that.
You like how I describe boobs?
Yeah.
It's poetry.
Hell yeah, I did.
She was like Pete Alonso, top heavy. What did I do? Oh, I turned
as badly as it did, but not just their pitching. They were a top-heavy lineup all year. They became a bad defensive team. They became a bad situational team, and they became a bunch of gutless bums. That's what they were down the stretch. There's no other way to categorize it.
Now it has been said, it has been done. And that'll do it for Francesa's show. See you later. That'll do it for us. Like the Angela Lansbury, like at the end of it, when the paper, like the paper comes out of the typewriter and falls into the pile.
I like that.
gutless to the core.
You got to get the end of whatever they call that at the end of the credits of the. I know it played.
Every show has them like the
this one, doo-doo-doo-doo. It was the page going out of the typewriter,
wafting down.
It was at the end of Murder, She Wrote. I know that because whatever came on after Murder, She Wrote, I wanted to see because I just remember seeing the end of like the last 10 seconds of the credits of Murder, She Wrote on Sundays. Whatever came on after that, I obviously wanted to see because I would see, maybe it was on after Moonlighting too. Who knows? But Michael Kay, who is the voice of the Yankees and also does an afternoon show on the AM radio over there in New York City, where they've moved the competing station, the WFAN, onto an AM signal, and they all pretended that it wasn't a death knell for the station. Not good news when you move to the AM signal. Adam can tell you. Adam can tell you all about that. He's just moved the station onto an AM signal.
And beat the station they moved me from in the
Well,
ratings.
you beat Bloomberg Radio. Congratulations.
Way to go, 12.
Thank you.
Wow, that's great.
Put that on the resume, my
right.
friend.
It's going right on there.
And so here is Michael Kay talking about the Mets.
I got a lot of Met friends.
Yeah. And black friends, too. And gay friends.
Some of my best friends root for the Mets.
Yeah. And as a guy with black friends, I feel very comfortable saying this to you. Just as a precursor to this rambling, I'm going to let you know. I have a lot of Met friends. So listen. Know this is coming from a place of understanding.
I got a lot of Met friends. Fans that are Met fans. Or friends that are Met fans. They're devastated today. How could you not be? This team systematically rips your heart out. And those are the people I genuinely feel for.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, they've spent all year rooting for the Mets, and now they're not in the playoffs. His sympathy is overwhelming. You know, you have the Jets there as well. They could use some TLC. There's a lot of crappy teams in that town. What about their fans? Why the Mets fans getting all the love?
I really feel for them. The people that I don't feel for, the people that made me think that it might be fun today to come on at 1 o'clock and just giggle for 2 hours. You know who you are. You're the creeps that couldn't let good enough be. You're the ones. We're the big brother now. You're the ones who kept sending those tweets out to me. Oh, Juan Soto looks happy now.
So I guess Kay badmouthed the Mets and the fans, and so he did like the show live from the Mets parking lot before a day game or something like that. And people were like super mean to him. So it's like a lot of things, like when people have been super mean to you about something, you automatically like as you would be in personality, you would revolt against them. It's happening a lot in the culture. People get canceled or something, and rightfully so, they get very angry, but they never let go of that anger, and it influences all their thoughts about everything.
How dumb do you feel? How chagrined are you?
Yeah, how chagrined are you? Are you chagrined?
That didn't sound awkward at all.
No.
What?
How chagrined are you? New part. Let me add in chagrined.
Oh, who cares?
You taping this? Chagrined. Now loop that in a couple times. I'm going to get K. He only beat me once.
How dumb do you feel? How chagrined are you? Are you embarrassed? And I don't rejoice in your pain at all. But it's that vicious, angry subset of Met fans that weren't hugged by their parents, who didn't have any love in their family, and they just love to pass along hate, derisive, nasty. Those I don't feel sorry for. Because this was going to be the dawning of a new era. The Yankees were going away. When they went 20 and 31 over those 51 games, you were rejoicing. I don't think the Yankees can make the playoffs. See, they couldn't do it with their plan B. Plan B worked. Your plan A didn't. You signed the best free agent available in a long time. One of the best players ever to become a free agent. That's how valuable Juan Soto is. And you still fell flat on your face.
Well, he is, even though he has Met friends that are Met fans, he is obviously still very embittered by their fan base. They
not
were very
rejoicing
mean to him.
at all. Not rejoicing. No.
I don't know if everyone was being a dick to him in like being overzealous on Twitter why he went to the game and broadcast from the game.
If you're broadcasting from the Citi Field parking lot, you're kind of expecting this.
Yeah, that seems like
How
a little
dumb
bit.
do you feel?
Like I'm going to spend a week on this billboard.
Well, what did you think was going to happen when you sat there and you're the voice of the Yankees, who have been bad-mouthing the Mets since day one? What did you think was going to happen when?
Well, they
all
obviously
these people
thought
came
that
by?
it would generate press and then it would calm everything down. It got to him enough that they were brainstorming ways to make it better, and they probably thought, this will. I mean, I heard about it, so it will get some publicity, and then it will like calm everything down. But I'm sure it didn't calm anything down.
No,
and he was just upset.
He's been in that market long enough. He knew what was coming.
Well, I don't
My
think
God.
people in the parking lot were probably dicks to him. People very seldomly will come up to you and be a dick. Like they might say something from afar, like yell something out, but I don't think a lot of people would come up to him and start challenging him to his face. I don't know. Maybe it did happen. It's New York. It was, he was out there in the middle of the afternoon. I don't know how drunk people were, but that would add to it. So there you go.
You want me to go out there to do what?
We're live.
Oh,
So just know, if we were to ever lose this job or the station were to go away, we could always have an emergency podcast.
Oh, cool.
That would always be available to us.
Okay.
Whenever we want it. So whenever something happens, you could immediately get on the air. Just call a kid. Link it up. Link it up. He sold his place in Long Island, too. You saw the pictures.
No, I didn't see the pictures.
We talked about it on the air. In one of the pictures, he had a wine refrigerator that was filled with Diet Cokes.
The wine refrigerator. I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, in his kitchen, which is, because he always had it, like me, he always had a DC next to him.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll go DPs if I'm going downstairs. You understand what I'm saying?
They don't carry the DC downstairs?
They do.
Oh.
But I don't buy Pepsi at home. So when I come here, it's like a nice little...
You mix
it's a
it up little
vacation.
bit. Oh, yeah.
It's like a taste vacation.
It's for me. It's getting the Dr. Pepper sometimes when I'm out and
DDP.
about. Because I never buy Dr. Pepper and have it at home.
Do you drink full volume, like DP regs?
It depends. The Diet Dr. Pepper is pretty good.
Yeah, but I can't drink it in the morning. Isn't that odd? It's too much.
Too much flavor?
It's
too
overwhelming.
Much Flavor Town?
Yeah, it takes me to Flavor Town too quick in the morning. It's too overwhelming. Everything after it's going to be a letdown.
By the way, on After Murder, She Wrote, I checked for you. It was the CBS Sunday movie. Were you taking that in a lot?
No, I was not. So I don't know why I saw the end of it. Did you find that at the end of Murder, She Wrote?
It's funny. I had that ready to go, and Hardy just threw it on. Where did you get it, Hardy? I was able to kind of Google it and find the production company that.
Beaten.
Oh, you put it in this thing already?
How did he find it?
We looked at the end of Murder, She Wrote. We looked.
So
at
it was the end of Murder,
Yeah, it
She
was.
Wrote.
But
Yeah.
we had to go and find it someplace else. But we got it.
But it was at the end of Murder, She Wrote?
Yes, that was at the end of Murder, She Wrote.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
That's how I felt after I defiled myself to Angela Lansbury.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
When that was the sound of me with a sock on my belly.
Jesus, she was like 58 years old when you were a kid.
So?
All right.
She was a silver cougar.
Are you embarrassed?
Yeah, a little bit.
You're the creeps that couldn't let good enough be.
Or Aunt B go,
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
matter. No, I never defiled myself to Murder, She Wrote. I don't know why I saw the end of Murder, She Wrote, if that was on what was on after it. My mom probably watched Murder, She Wrote, and it probably played in the background while I was alone. I probably heard it in the silence of my home. Something very
we all
satisfying.
like dogs, okay?
It's something very satisfying about that. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Danny Roach is in the Bronx. He'll talk to us.
More Toucher and Hardy next.
Red Sox take on the New York Yankees in the first of the best of 3 wild card series. Every game at 6 o'clock for the next 3 days. Danny Roach, hello.
Morning, Fred. Morning, John. Morning, Hardy.
Hi.
When did you head down yesterday?
Yesterday morning, made the drive and was at Yankee Stadium for the workouts yesterday, and settled in. I'm in a nice hotel, good to go, ready to go. It should be fun today.
Where's the hotel?
You're gonna laugh because I've been coming to Yankee Stadium forever, because of the rivalry, and I don't like having to go through traffic or over the George Washington Bridge, so I'm up north of the Bronx and Yankee Stadium. I go straight up 87, find a hotel up here, either Marriott or Hilton, and I'm at a Hilton Pearl River is the name of the place. So if you look up Pearl River, it's an interesting little town. So it's in New York, upper New York, about 20 miles north of the city, and I'm good and ready to go.
Oh, it's a beautiful hotel.
Yeah.
What is that, like by Rye? Where are you? Are you in Westchester County?
A little further north than that. So.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like the New Jersey border.
Oh, you're on the New Jersey border.
Oh, God, it looks like a
Interesting.
ski lodge. Look at that thing.
So much for urban living for Danny Roach.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I got to imagine.
There's
And-
not a Chili's or an Applebee's anywher near there, though. What are you going to do?
Oh, I would assume there is.
Sat at the bar last night and had a salad and talked to the folks that were around here. So good night. It was a good night.
What do you mean you talked to the folks that were around there? So you sat at the hotel bar, you had a salad and some martinis.
Local charity going on, a local charity dinner, and the people were just, coming in and out of that dinner, coming over to the bar, and I was watching the Monday Night Football game and the Jets and the Dolphins, which was a good one, and just started talking to the people, and soon enough they came over with some desserts, some local desserts from Lulu's Cafe, it was a little banana pudding and other things like that. So it was a good night.
How many older women, when I say older, I mean postmenopausal women came up to you and slid their numbers to you?
Not many, Fred, like 30.
Okay.
You know how it is.
Any Nilla wafers in the banana pudding?
There was something already. What? It might have been that. I don't know what it was. But it was delicious.
Pure sunshine acid. Danny, how did you manage getting desserts from the people? They just came up and started talking to you, and then they started handing you desserts?
They were all kind of gathered around the bar, and they were ordering drinks and what have you. But then, one guy started bringing over these. Hey, these are from the table. They're left over. No one's going to eat them. Here, folks. And
here's our trash.
Sitting at the bar.
They were bussing the table. They said, "Do you want any the stuff?" They didn't eat everything.
Yeah, we have some leftover meat on this bone. This ribeye still got some meat on it.
Well, yeah, adjacent to trash is trash.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Giolito can't pitch. Did you see the stat that Hardy said that he saw Tom Curran last night? And
yeah, Tom stole that.
Karen rather, not Curran.
Yeah, because Jemai and I were sitting in the dugout and talking things over, and Maury from Channel 7 was there, and we found out this stat, and we looked into it. I looked into it all. It's a huge stat, and I think I heard you earlier. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either.
Why it's so dominant. So what it is this format, this new format of the, in 21, remember the Red Sox beat the Yankees in a one game wild card and at Fenway when Fenway was electric. And since then, they've gone to a format of a best of 3 in the home seed, the higher seeded park. So it's a best of 3 on the road, basically, for the Red Sox. And what you see is 12 series have been played since starting in 2022. And the winner of game 1 has won all 12 series. And the series has only gone in the 12 series has only gone to 3 games twice. So it's everything. Tonight's game is everything with Crochet and Fried. So it's almost like a 1-game playoff. I don't know the reason behind that. And the other part of that, too, is, Fred, is that the road team in those 12 series is 8-4. So it's kind of one of those strange ones to figure out. But if you're going to have anybody, you want to have Crochet, the guy that you brought here as your ace. He's the next, Pedro, Beckett, Schilling. He's the guy that you're relying on to be that ace. So I think it's going to be fun tonight to watch unfold. So with that said, Giolito doesn't really matter in this series because if they get to a game 3, no one has ever done it. None of these series have gone to a game 3, and they'll probably throw either Kyle Harrison or the name I was hearing more likely yesterday was Conley Early. And just how much they love this kid who nothing bothers him and everything else. But that doesn't really matter in this series. It doesn't feel like that. So it's awful news about Giolito. You hate to hear it, but I'm not sure it's a big factor in this particular series. If they advance, then it becomes a lot more difficult.
Karen said you stole the stat from him. He said he heard that you were like, whispering about it and just talking with your people about it, and that you got it from him. So I don't know.
Is that true, Dan?
No.
Okay.
How do you feel about Bayo in game 2?
He's an interesting one, Hardy. Again, because these guys have all exceeded their limits, and Max Fried's one of those guys who's exceeded his inning limits too this year as the Yankees ace. You don't know, he gutted his way through. I thought his last start was much better than it had been the previous couple. So, but he's that X factor. Like, what does the spotlight mean? I mean, that's the cool thing if you're a Red Sox fan coming into this series, is that this to me is just what you wanted in this year. You get a stretch run where every game mattered, and they felt that kind of pressure. What's that like? How do you have to come through on that? And now you're in this, you're getting a playoff zoo atmosphere. So no matter what happens in this series, you see who rises up, and you get a feel of it for all your different players. Who's going to step in? Who's going to rise and become that guy? Who, it could be any one of these Red Sox young players. I'm a huge Rafaela fan in the clutch, especially as we saw Friday night with the walk-off triple. So I'm curious to see how Bayo reacts to the spotlight and everything else. He's been working so many years with Pedro Martinez. Can he rise up to that level in the postseason? I mean, that's the cool thing for this group. No matter what happens, they're going to get experience of what it's like to be in the postseason. I think if you said it for Red Sox fans going into this, if we're going to lose Anthony and Marcelo, that I think that this is a good experience for all these guys to take into next year and beyond. So I think it's going to be fun to watch who rises up and who doesn't.
Dan, how should we look at this team, in your opinion? Should we be just happy they made it to this point? Or, like Alex Cora said, there are no real monster teams in the American League. Should we think that this Red Sox team, should go a long way? I
think right today, again, one game is going to maybe decide the series. You want this team to go as long as they can, right? And I think they have the capability. I think Alex has a real good feel for this team. It's not like a powerhouse team. They have right, left. They face two lefties here in this series, so you're going to see the Romy Gonzalez's of the world, those kind of players to go along with your others. So you're going to find out what kind of team you have, and I think Alex likes this team a lot. And the one other thing, I go to the playoffs, and you guys all know this, is that managers make a difference. We watched it with Bruce Bochy, one of the best in the game when he had Texas. He knew exactly what buttons to push. In a short series, I'm not sure how big of a factor is, but I think Alex is 17-8 in the postseason, right? He knows how to perform and how to run his team to get a maximum, win. Like, he'll do things like bring starters in early if he needs to. He'll maneuver the bullpen. He really works in. And, players were talking about it yesterday. I think Rob Refsnyder was saying one of the things that he likes, or maybe it was Nathaniel Lowe yesterday in the clubhouse, was saying that he knows how to run a bullpen. That's the one thing you see with Alex Cora. Knows how to manage people, and he knows how to run a bullpen. And this is ideally what you want it for. Tonight might be different. You're hoping for a good battle between Fried and Crochet. But, in this intensity and the number of pitches they throw, how far can they go? So innings 6, 7, 8, and 9 are going to be everything. And to see how Boone versus Cora is, I'll take Cora every day in that matchup, and then we'll find out. So I think it's good. It's going to be fun. It's exciting.
Well, hopefully he ends up like Bruce Bochy, out of a job, is what you would
yeah, well, that happens, Fred. You know what I mean? Come on.
All right. So, Dan, when one thinks of Boston and New York, Red Sox, Yankees, what does this mean to you? Can you take us through your personal memory bank of this crazy rivalry?
I can't believe it's only the 6th time that they've met in the postseason. I guess that's the format, right? Because I was saying to Adam before we came on.
Well, they were in the same division, so they wouldn't have met in the playoffs.
78, 03, and 04 created everything, right? So that's 3 right there, 78, 03, 04, and then just 18 and 21, and that's it. So it's been a regular season rivalry more, and it's been hyped up that way, but I think it's great. I think of the old Yankee Stadium. I was talking to some of the security guys yesterday and guys that have been around. It's just like the old Yankee Stadium was like walking into the old Boston Garden. It just oozed history. This Yankee Stadium, especially because of the seats behind home plate and, that don't fill in early and everything else, doesn't have that same exact feel. It's still a good place. But I think of the old rivalry with Yankee Stadium and Fenway, and going back to those 03-04 campaigns and the heartache of 03 and then the redemption in 04 was just fun. That place was fun. And then coming back in 05, I think it was David Wells against Randy Johnson, maybe. Does that sound right, to start 05? And it was just like you could still smell the champagne in the Red Sox clubhouse when we came up here for game one of that season. So it's just like it's just great. I think this is everything you want in baseball. This is just such a cool day with 4 games going on, and now to the importance of game one. Like this is going to be awesome. I can't wait for first pitch tonight at 6:08. It's going to be just fun to watch Fried and Crochet go at it. And, this is what it's all about, fellas. This is good.
Is this like a big day for you? What time did you wake up this morning?
I was up early, 5:30 maybe.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Was baseball the first thing on your mind?
Yep.
What was your first thought as you got up? What was like? Were you like, oh boy, here we go?
Yeah, it's a good day. Today's a good day. It's been fun. I've been on the Patriots beat from day one of training camp, so that's been fun. It was a get-right win on Sunday, so all's good in my world right now, Fred. Everything's great.
Yeah, but you're home. You're home now. Like, you were doing you were dipping your toe into the Patriots stuff, and sure, you like it, but now you're home. This is where you belong.
I love it. I love this, but I also I got to tell you, Fred. I think I like everything about the Patriots beat, and I think I'm doing a good job this year. I know this team. I know what's going on behind the scenes, everything else. So this is good. I'm living the best of both worlds.
Yeah, you like everything.
I do.
Right, the same.
Yeah.
That's why you're so interesting.
Out of all the desserts you tried last night, did you like them all the same, or was there one better than the other?
No, it was the banana pudding. All right.
Yeah. See, that'll make a statement on.
And I'm not a banana pudding guy. I don't think I've ever really had banana pudding.
You've never had banana pudding. That was the first time in your life. You're a man in your 50s, and you've never had banana pudding.
No, I've had it before, but not like...
He didn't grow up in some multicultural banana pudding eating
he didn't grow
Benetton ad.
He didn't grow up in Costa Rica. No.
Yeah, he grew up right here in Massachusetts, where banana pudding isn't on every table.
Yeah,
you have
right.
vanilla pudding.
Yes.
Or chocolate pudding.
Right.
Boston cream
Butterscotch.
pie, that kind of stuff.
Butterscotch
this is different. This is Pearl River, New Jersey. I mean, New York.
That's right. All right. Well, Dan, you're going to be at Yankee Stadium during the game, so you'll be there.
Yes. Yep.
In the press box, and everyone's nice to you.
The other stat that I found interesting, Frank. Can I say that before we leave?
Yeah.
Okay. This might be a factor. Is that the Yankees are, home run or bust with Judge and Stanton and company? That in games where the Yankees have two or more homers, they're 53-22, and when they have one or less, they're 41-46. So they got to keep the ball in the ballpark. We know that right field porch. I mean, Yoshida was dumping it in there yesterday, Nathaniel Lowe as well. So I think that's another thing too with Crochet and company. They got to keep the ball in the ballpark.
Tough to do. A pop-up's a homer in that ballpark.
Exactly.
So It's very, very difficult to keep it. I remember, who was it? It was Roman Anthony went into the second deck to win a game at Yankee Stadium, and it would have been a fly ball to the warning track at Fenway Park.
Especially in October. Right?
Yeah. So,
Dan, did you watch Murder, She Wrote?
My dad used to love that show.
Do you remember this? Do you remember that?
No, what is it?
Oh, it was the thing at the end of the credits for Murder, She Wrote.
I couldn't really hear it down my line, but yeah. Angela Lansbury, my dad loved that. He loved Matlock.
I love Matlock.
Yes.
Is that why you are the way you are, is just growing up watching Matlock and Murder, She Wrote?
Yep.
That's why you go to New York City and you stay in suburban New York motels. I understand.
I like to have Mayberry around me,
Yeah. All right, well, Danny, you are doing a good job. And look, if the Red Sox can manage to cobble together some wins, we would love to have you on more.
Yep, sounds good.
When this thing's all said and done, we'll have you on no matter what. But Danny, WBZ Television, Dan's going to be out there covering before, after, every which way but loose.
Yeah, we got you covered 5, 6, 11. We'll be here, Fred, with reaction, post-game reaction, everything else. So we've got you covered start to finish on WBZ TV. Guys?
And if anything goes down in the streets, if there's some kind of riot or anything, Danny will be right in the middle of it.
In Pearl River, New York.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If anything happens this morning in Pearl River, Dan's there with the camera crew.
I'm going to go find some banana pudding.
Yeah, maybe you can find a local, Jesus Christ, I can't even think. All right, Danny, thank you.
Yeah, fellas.
All
Have
right.
a good one. Enjoy the day.
I couldn't even think of the reference. I was Kiwanis Club. Thank you. I was like, maybe you could find a Kiwanis Club board meeting and get some B-roll footage of that.
See, the thing with Matlock, he just wouldn't get his guy, found not guilty. He would find the real killer, and he'd get him up on the stand, which a lot of defense attorneys won't do. They won't even bother. They'll just, let's use the bare minimum to raise, reasonable doubt. No. Ben Matlock, he went the extra mile to see that justice was served.
Did you ever see Matlock ever?
No.
Yeah, I never saw it one time.
I've
Not
never
even a
seen
minute of it.
Great show.
You see it in passing, like, oh, that's on.
Well, I'm aware it was on television.
Yeah, no, but even now, you see, oh, yeah, that's on.
Because Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
Correct? Andy Griffith.
Yep.
He obviously very famous and very old, but he was probably like 45 when he did it. Like looking back, like Angela Lansbury was probably 38.
No, Angela Lansbury was in her 50s when she did that.
Well, was she like your age? I'm not making a joke.
Yes.
Yeah. See?
Yes.
And she was like the old lady on TV.
Didn't she just pass away at like the age of 99 or something like that?
I think she did live a very long
Andy
life.
Griffith was 59 years old when Matlock premiered.
Oh,
it seemed like he was 80.
Thank God. Yeah. Older than me. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's different now. People look much more youthful. It's true. All right. That'll do it for Danny Roach. We'll be back in just a moment. Rex Ryan had some things to say about Shedeur Sanders. A listener very nicely sent me a podcast. I don't know if it's a podcast. It was a radio show or something that Lombardi and Belichick did.
Oh, yeah, I got that. I haven't heard it yet.
Yep.
I read it. I read about it.
Yep.
Lombardi is really something else.
Already sent it to the back room in the hopes that we can produce something for later.
Yeah, and I'll just tell you this. I will spoil it a little bit. Lombardi is saying it's good that we're losing,
right.
And I'm not making that up,
No,
and I'm not mixing up his words. He legitimately says, "Oh no, it's good that we suck." He says that because it's helping with recruiting. Kids want to play for a bad team, he says. He says that. He absolutely says that. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox will visit the Yankees tonight in Game 1 of a best-of-3 series in a wild-card round of the Major League Baseball playoffs. Garrett Crochet will oppose Max Fried. Red Sox announced yesterday Lucas Giolito is out of at least this playoff round with a sore elbow. As for the Bruins, they continued their preseason with a 3-2 overtime loss, or shootout loss, rather, to Philadelphia at TD Garden. Bruins are 2-1-1 in preseason play. They visit the Washington Capitals on Thursday night. And Patriots have today off. The players do anyway. They'll practice tomorrow. They visit Buffalo Sunday. They also had their game a week from Sunday in New Orleans flexed from a 4 p.m. kickoff to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the DeBoer McKim School of Business at Northeastern University, where MBA and master's degree students build vital business skills through experience. Connect at northeastern.edu/business. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and
movie. We're Toucher and Hardy. You know, I've been on the Paul Finebomb show. We play Paul Finebomb a lot. He's the college football talk show host. You see him on ESPN.
Man, my brother. I hate to say it, man. Jack Arnold, he is garbage. I don't know why y'all signed that sucker. I don't know why y'all got him, but he is garbage. Yeah, Paul, but ain't Paul, that was a bad referee in that game. Yeah, that was a fumble.
So he can decipher that stuff. Like, he is truly a man of the people of the South. He goes to these callers' funerals and stuff. He seems like a good guy. And he was on that outkick situation where Whitlock is, but he wasn't on with Whitlock, I don't think. And they asked him about his future plans, and he was talking about running for Senate in Alabama. He said, at this point, you got to make a decision on whether to run. The deadline is January. At some point in time, you've dealt in the world of recruiting. Or he was asked if he would, can you tell the president no? If the president asked you, Trump asked him to run for Senate, and he says, impossible to tell him no. There's no way I could. I would say yes. He's 70. He is. He lived in North Carolina for a long time. He now lives in Alabama, which shocks me that he lived in North Carolina. I just assumed he lived in Alabama among those people. I don't know how he can decipher what they're saying without being immersed in it. He's somehow found that. And I like Paul Feinbaum. He's always been very nice to me. He seems to have a good sense of humor. And Feinbaum said he traveled to Washington, D.C. to interview the President Trump in 2019 before a LSU-Alabama game. And Feinbaum says, I called my boss and they killed it. I was devastated. They told me that we're not allowed to mix politics with sports. So he is, it sounds like he's going to run for Senate in Alabama. And he said he would make the decision in the next 30 days or so. So
I could see him easily getting elected by those picks. You kidding me?
I'm reading this on Awful Announcing, so apologize for stumbling through the article. It's not very well organized. But suffice it to say, Paul Feinbaum, I hope, maybe for the country, Feinbaum, because I can't imagine they're going to elect a Republican, so it's a long shot odds that he would, if he gets a Republican nomination, that somehow Alabama going Republican seems unlikely. So I don't know if he can do it. I mean, the odds are stacked against him.
Right.
And, you know, Tommy Tuberville is vacating the seat. So I can't imagine someone with Paul Feinbaum's lack of political experience could get that Senate seat. So, I mean, the odds are stacked against him. But I, for one, will very much miss Paul Feinbaum. Maybe it will be great for the country. Who knows? He seems like a good guy. My experience with him has been good. But we will certainly miss him on the air. And he's 70, and that I like. So, you know me. I'm very aware of my mortality, even though they say now that AI is going to make it so you don't die until you're well into your 100s, which sounds like a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. But anyway, like, what's your brain going to be like? Now is it running through a computer or something?
You always like to do this exercise. Like, would you want to be him? Would you want to do that life? Would you want to do that thing? So what Feinbaum does now, he's probably a little bored with it by now.
Yes.
He's been doing the same thing for a long time, but he knows what he's doing 100%. You know, he's mastered this particular craft. He's going to go into something that he has, to my knowledge, no experience with. And all the machinations of Washington, D.C., and having to deal with that, and meeting after meeting, he's going from an absolute layup, easy job for him now. I'm not saying anybody could do it, but he can do that job easily now, to something where it is going to be taxing mentally, physically, and dealing with stuff that he doesn't have to deal with. The conversations he has now get very heated, but, you know, the stakes are very, very low.
Okay, you're asking me if I like what Feinbaum's doing, and I do. Because at 70, I wouldn't want to be, like, married to being a public figure, but if he finds a calling, and he sounds like he feels a calling to run for Senate. Like, he feels a calling to get into politics. And if you don't have to go through, like, the local crap, like, I certainly wouldn't want to be a city councilman.
You're gonna have to build yourself from the ground up.
But if I felt the calling to keep myself mentally active, and at 70, I could pretty much. I don't think this is going to be. I don't think running for Senate in Alabama is an overwhelmingly invasive experience. I would imagine that it's a pretty clear-cut thing. That if you getting the nomination for the Republican Party is the hardest part, and if Tuberville endorses him and Trump endorses him, there's no way he's going to lose.
Getting the job, I think he could do. It's actually doing the job.
I don't think being a senator is very difficult. And he's used to being in the public eye, and in a lot of ways, I think he'll be a lower profile, as sad as it is to say.
I have no idea what the job is like.
Who are the senators besides Tuberville? Who's the other senator in Alabama? No one knows. It's a secret. Not even the other people in Alabama know. I don't even know who the senators from Massachusetts are, quite
Katie
frankly.
Britt.
A woman? Oof.
Oh, boy.
The good old days. Long gone.
I tell you why I wouldn't want to do it. Meetings. We have 2 quote-unquote meetings a day now for our show, and you can barely call them that. But they are important to us, and we do them. But all told, it takes 45 minutes of our day to have these 2 meetings. You're going to have 5 45-minute meetings a day, minimum, I would think, even as a senator. And even if the job itself, you're just kind of doing, you just have to go to meeting after meeting after meeting.
I think you're way overestimating the amount of work required. The most work is getting elected. And then I think it's pretty much just you're coasting. How long are you in Senate? 6 years?
We need to
6 years. 6. So you're in Senate for 6 years. Like for 6 years, like unless you make a big stink and act crazy.
Tuberville 1 term.
I would like it better if there was actual work to do and there was stuff to do. I think it's mostly just sitting around BSing about stuff and listening to reports and presentations and having to present. And
but if you have one thing you're passionate about, like one thing that you feel would greatly improve the country. Like there are little things that you can do. Like for instance, there's like an AM radio bill, like saying you got to have AM radio in cars.
Oh yeah, if there was a road that I thought needed fixing in my state and I could get that done, I'd feel great about that.
Like so if there's like something like as a senator, if there's like an issue, like not even the AM radio, but like a bigger issue, if there's like one issue you're super passionate about, and you have a dogma, you have like an ideal system that will funnel itself into what you're for, but you're a huge proponent of this one global or national issue, you can, you're putting yourself in a position to affect great change with that issue.
It's just such a major change. And if you take him at his word, something he had never thought about before, and it was the assassination of Charlie Kirk that made him think about it. And then he gets a couple of calls from Washington gauging his interest. And now he's thinking about it. This doesn't sound like a lifelong dream. This just sounds like something like, maybe I'll go do that.
I like it even more. At 70, you're pivoting. I like it. Staying active, staying fresh. There you go. Paul Finebomb. We'll be back. Andrew Callahan will join us in just a moment. We're Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. It is a Tuesday at 8 o'clock. That means Andrew Callahan is in from the Boston Herald. Andrew is brought to you by Ramjack New England, your local foundation repair experts. Visit them at ramjack.com. That is what is going on. Hardy was at the big David Andrews Strikes for Tykes event yesterday. I was supposed to co-host it with him, but life got in the way. And there were Patriots there. I talked to David Andrews after the show yesterday for about 5 minutes. But who was at this event?
A lot of former players. Rob Ninkovich was there.
Ninkovich listens to the show.
Yeah.
What did he have to say to you?
We just hello, hey, what's going on?
He asked over me.
He did not ask about you or comment on your allegations that he dyes his beard.
That's well known, and everyone says it, not just us.
You two are the only two.
I disagree with that.
I can see it.
Thank you.
No one over the age of 45 has a beard that is black.
Not black, jet black.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen. It's going to be salt and peppered. You're going to get a little salt and pepper in there.
It's kind of scary, actually, looking at it.
No, I know Jim Rice wasn't nice to you. Who else was there?
Matthew Slater was there. Tully Banticane was there. Brian Hoyer was there. I did not speak with Slater. Yeah, he came in late. So he only
up late doing like experiments. Oh, I have to be at this thing.
He was up there with Mama.
Yeah,
I only saw him walk by when the players are being introduced. We mentioned Jim Rice, and he and I had a warm conversation.
Have you guys covered that already? I'm so intrigued.
Just Jim Rice kind of blew him off.
Not even blew me off. It's just I as advertised, I would say Jim Rice.
Yeah.
Did you tell him you were from Driveline? Because that was an issue, remember, back in the spring?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's what you should have done.
No, that would have been funny.
I work for Driveline, and on behalf of the company, we'd like to apologize. That would have gotten you right in.
Yeah, I was on his side during that whole thing.
Yes, that's right.
It would have been nice if a little bit of a pat on the back that
Andrew Callahan, great idea, about 12 hours late.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, Andrew Callahan is here. He is here in all seriousness to talk about the New England Patriots, a old school win, a dominating win on Sunday.
Michael Wenner was there too. Sorry, I forgot.
Oh, he's buried the lead.
Yeah.
All right, so your takeaways from that game. It's a blowout against a bad team, but there are teams that are 0-4 in this league.
Take advantage of bad football. They did that.
Right. And so what that win, in my opinion, you can tell me, I'll lead you in a little bit, is that now the Patriots aren't the 0-4 team. They're not like the dregs of the league. They have shown that there are teams quite a bit worse than them. And Vrabel did it quick. He came in one off season.
Advanced
4
the
games
team
in
to mediocre.
I'm not being sarcastic.
I'm
it's quite a
with you.
feat.
Yo, it's
true. Go look at what happened in New York. I mean, Aaron Glenn, by all accounts, has everything to be a coach, but that team's undisciplined. That team turns the ball over, and that team's 0-4. They're not that team. So you got to give them credit for that. Last night should have shown you how much better that the New England Patriots are than they were last year. This weekend is a perfect example of it. The haves and the have-nots. They are not a have-not. All right, go ahead, Aaron.
Correct. Yeah, I looked at that game and go, it's been a while. You know, the last time they had won a game like that, and I know they beat the Lions by 29 back in 2022. It's a bunch of field goals, and Kyle Duggar had a touchdown, like atypical game. The one that reminded me of what we saw Sunday was 50-10, talk about playing the dregs of the league, against the Jaguars in their home finale of that 21 season when they had a young quarterback, and they had a veteran defense, and they had all these guys from free agency that had been infused into the roster to make them a good team. And so going into that game, I said, look, this is a show us what you got game. We know what Carolina is, right? Like, they're not in the neighborhood with you and the Steelers and the Raiders, and you might be good, you might not be. We know Carolina stinks. Put them away. They did that and then some in a way that I don't think anybody expected. And when you look at what happened, parts are not sustainable. Like, Drake May is not going to be able to have a picnic in every pocket. But the other stuff, you go to Fred's point, like, okay, you are in the middle of the pack, and if you keep building on this and play to this potential that they finally teased, the ceiling is certainly a playoff team.
This season, you think?
This season, yeah.
Okay.
Now, yeah, I don't want to get too overblown about this win over that team, but and this is something that David Andrews had said last night too, because he was kind of fed up with people, trying to find flaws in the win because of who they played. And I agreed with him. I said, look, you beat a team as soundly as a team can be beaten. Now, had the Lions or the Ravens, who I know are struggling a bit right now, or the Chiefs, or just pick another top team in the league right now, had gone out and played the Panthers on Sunday, the score probably would have been the same. Now, it would have looked different, and it probably would have looked even easier for a top team in the league. But in terms of what they had to do against that opponent, they executed. They didn't turn the ball over. They weren't making mistakes. What else do you want from this team right now?
You really couldn't have asked for more improvement in a single Sunday than what they gave you.
Yes.
Like, to your point, the stuff that you could control, regardless of who's on the other sideline, which context is important. We all get that. No one needs to scream, the Panthers are a JV team. We all know this. But what you can do about that is to beat the hell out of them. And that's exactly what they did.
Yes.
And when you look at good teams, historically, like, we give teams a lot of credit for winning close games, and that shows you they've got composure and they're clutch and this and that. Man, close games in the NFL could be a toss-up. It could be a bad bounce of the football. The good teams, what they do is beat the crap out of bad teams. And I'm not saying the Patriots are going to continue to do this. They'll have plenty of chances with the Titans and the Saints and the Browns coming up. But the point is, this was the first data point that says, okay, this is a team that could live up to its talent level. And if it keeps building on this, like we've been talking about, you've been better. Fewer tackles, fewer penalties, no turnovers. Drake May's cleanest game ever, well coached. That's what you wanted.
Yeah, and I like that they didn't just exploit like one bad thing about a bad team. Like,
Yes.
if the Panthers, like, they have absolutely no
Pass
run
rush.
defense, whatever.
Well, they have one sack this season, so they have it's which is almost impossible
two
to
now.
imagine. Oh yeah, they had two in that game.
But they couldn't even get a yard backwards on that sack. It
No,
was
no,
zero.
they let him move up. They let him move up in the pocket.
Okay, so
it was technically a sack, but only by inches.
So yeah, maybe they were exploiting that in a variety of ways, but they ran the ball. They ran it with different guys. They brought in Ramondre Stevenson, which I was against, and had him a part of the game plan. Not exactly the same way, but we argued a bit about this yesterday. Like, he was still out there in some critical downs, and they gave him plenty of rope, which it was the right call to make. I wouldn't have done it, but finding different receivers, hitting the open guy, not just exploiting that one glaring weakness in a Panthers defense. No, they used it as a glorified practice almost, and they looked really good doing it.
I like the game plans too. You look on defense, and we're looking at these fast starts, and you go, okay, they miss tackles, and they take bad penalties, which happened against Carolina. You're also going, why are we treating Aaron Rodgers like he's going to throw the ball 50 yards downfield, and you're in these big two high shells, and you give him all this space underneath? Carolina, Josh McDaniels had them diced up with 38% play action. Drake May, whenever he had motion, 9 of 10, 105 yards, touchdown. Like, they're going, you're a bad defense, and we know how to exploit it. And McDaniels did that over and over and over again. And on defense, they said, look, we just have to keep you in front. But we know that you realize, because of your lack of talent, you'll have to roll the dice every once in a while and throw these deep shots and just kind of cross your fingers. Every single time, and it's a credit to Zach Core, their defensive play caller, that Carolina wanted to do that, it was on first down. And they were ready with this back it up, cover two structure on first down to deny those. So this was their coaching as much as their playing, and that means in-game, which we had not really seen from them. Like, I gave Vrabel on TV last week a D+ for the first three games, being like, where are you showing improvement or just tightening any screws? All the screws were tightened on Sunday.
Right. And maybe that Pittsburgh game was a good litmus.
How do you mean?
You could point to it and go, look, we win that game by 2 touchdowns if we don't turn the ball over 5 times.
Right.
If you protect the football and don't make mistakes, you beat a playoff team from last year. And now you listen to what the players said after the game. They all pointed to the same thing. Don't make mistakes. Hang on to the football. This is the same thing.
They said get back to basics. And it's amazing, like, again, the line from Vrabel's press conference that we keep bringing up, and John just did, can you take advantage of bad football? That just means, can you just not go backwards?
Yeah.
Like, standing still will win you some games, okay?
Playing fundamentally sound football against a bad team will win you the game.
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Along with some good game plan stuff.
Yeah, and look, they played well on top of it. It's not like they just went out and did nothing other than not turn the ball over. they did enough, but that's all they had to do against Pittsburgh.
But with a team with this limited amount of talent, if you can ingrain in them, which is what bad teams coaches are trying to do when they say create culture, is they're trying to get them not to have pre-snap penalties. They're trying to have them not fumble. They're like, hang on to the football, don't have pre-snap penalties, and you'll be okay. Tackle. Like, these little things that sound so basic are hard for bad teams to learn to do. I don't know what happens to them or what it is, but Vrabel has tightened it up. And he's tightened it up quick. You got to give him credit for that.
I wanted to ask you about a couple of specific things, because if the Patriots are going to make a run and be better than we all thought, specific players are going to have to be better against good teams. Like Christian Gonzalez came back, was in for, 75% of the snaps. How did he look against Ted McMillan? And most importantly for Drake May, Will Campbell, how did he look on the left side? Or neither of them just challenged at all last weekend?
Will Campbell looked good. And their outside linebackers were bad. You could see them targeting DJ Johnson, who is a backup edge guy, as well as their inside linebackers. Again, talk about the motion and McDaniels. That was just circling all of the guys who played linebacker and said, we're going after you. But to the Johnson point, May has that naked bootleg going left, scrambles for a first touchdown, their first offensive touchdown. That was a clear, we can take advantage of this guy. But Will Campbell, through 4 games of his NFL career, has twice now not given up a single pressure for any offensive tackle. I don't care who you're playing. As long as you're playing NFL football and you don't give up a single pressure, that's outstanding. He got snatched a couple of times in the run game. That'll happen. But if whatever you expected of Will Campbell early in his career, this has been better. Gonzalez played the 3rd most defensive snaps, which is a little bit of a surprise, but definitely tells you Patriots thought he was ready last week and just decided, we'll sit you because you took your time with your recovery. He looked okay. He gave up 2 catches to Ted McMillan. He did not shadow him. He was just parked on the right side of the defense. Those 2 catches went for 31 yards. One was on a play they challenged. I think he'll be better next week and continue to be better. The thing for me is, how much man coverage do you want to live in? Because the Carolina offense missed some opportunities where they got McMillan on safeties, and they're able to do that with motion. And so if I'm Buffalo, I go, okay, if this is the way they're going to play, because Gonzalez is back, you want to play more man-to-man, we might be able to get those same matchups. And that's the thing where, it makes a lot of sense. You get your great cornerback. We're just going to play one-on-one. But the way that the rules are built into their system, that might create some other opportunities elsewhere, because you can get Gonzalez off of the best receivers depending on what you do pre-snap.
All right. And I'm asking everyone this, do you think Bryce Young could ever be a quality NFL quarterback?
First of all, I loved Mike Reese yesterday. Just being like, yeah, of course. And you were like, BS, that's a short guy. Protecting the short guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think Reese is the one who said it. He said, he's like, I love short people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he went into his milk crates that Hardy thought is like Tetris with him. How many milk crates to get him eye level with the players?
Reese is the best. I don't think he'll ever be top 10, no matter the system, how good the offensive line is. But he could be like his backup, Andy Dalton. How about that? Different style of player, but you can give enough good infrastructure around him, good players and receivers. You can move often enough with the ball. If you have a good defense, you can win some games with Bryce Young.
Yeah. Andy Dalton, people forget, was a quality playoff quarterback. He got booed at the Pro Bowl.
Booed at the Pro Bowl?
Yeah,
I missed that.
We interviewed him at the Super Bowl one time, and we asked about him being booed at the Pro Bowl, and he just seemed so defeated.
I know. No, we saw him in Phoenix. I remember this. He was pimping, whatever he was pimping, and this was right after that incident. And the last thing literally 2 or 3 days after that incident, he'd flown to Phoenix from Hawaii to pimp toilet paper, whatever it was. The last thing he wanted to do was talk about that.
Yeah.
And of course you have to ask him, but it's true. He completely shut down. His face, you could see it. It's like, oh man, I don't want to talk about this.
I would too. I mean, imagine going to your high school and they're inducting you in their sports hall of fame and you get booed.
Right.
The whole point of that weekend is to celebrate you at the Pro Bowl. It's why.
Yeah, and that the Pro Bowl was just flyered, right? Like no one bought tickets to the Pro Bowl. God. So, and especially since it was probably in Orlando at that point, I could see if you lived in Hawaii, buying a $10 ticket because the NFL's there, but. If it was back then, I don't know if it was in Orlando or not, but it's got to be something that was papered. So it's not like anyone who cares, and then they're still booing you. It's not like it was in Cincinnati or something like that, and they're booing you because you lost in the playoffs. It is quite a feat, but every day for me in Phoenix was like getting booed at the Pro Bowl. One of the worst weeks of my life, which I guess is fortunate.
Is that right? You didn't like it there?
No, I didn't.
Had no idea.
I can't believe we went. I'm still angry that I agreed to go. It was so dumb to do that.
This is literally 9 years removed from the trip.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Oh, it's more.
Deflategate, 11 years, right?
Yeah.
11 years removed from the trip.
That was part of it too, the whole Deflategate nonsense and people pretending to care about that. Woof. Ay.
That wasn't the
You're
Jim.
going to rant about this now and I got to sit here? Okay, good.
The Jim Gray year or interview with him?
That was Atlanta. Because I wanted to see Crash. I remember that. That was Atlanta. Atlanta was fun because obviously I lived there.
Yep.
And it's East Coast time.
Right.
So it's fine.
Things to do around the facility.
Well, and also we got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and walked over to the
Right.
You didn't have to get up at 1:30 in the morning. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was so dumb to be there.
San Francisco this year. So
Yeah,
when the
yeah.
Patriots go.
Yeah. We'll be right there. You're out of your mind.
San Francisco, LA.
They can try to fire me for not going to the Super Bowl. I ain't going to San Francisco. I don't care if we're taping. I don't care what. That game's an hour from San Francisco. No way, Jose. I can only imagine where they're going to make the people stay. Yeah. Radio Row. They'll probably put it in San Diego. I didn't have to take a bus up to San Francisco every day. Take a prop plane. Are you kidding me? You want to talk about a nightmare? Have fun, Felger and Maz there. Eat it up. Staying 2 hours from San Francisco and then every time you go in the city, you just get attacked by homeless people. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with You Got Me Going with Andrew Callahan.
You're listening to
Fantastic explosion.
98.5, the Sports
I
Hub.
thought it was good. I thought it was okay for him to, good to be out there. And I think it can always be better. And I think he knows that. But for just, the first game back, some good stuff. He'll continue to work and he'll continue to, have a game plan each and every week. And excited that he was able to put a full work in there and have confidence in playing and conditioning and all those things that are positive.
We're Toucher and Hardy. Andrew Callahan from the Boston Herald joins us for the 8 o'clock hour on Tuesdays. We'll play Two Stats and a Lie. In the next segment, where he has already made mistakes. He put this wrench into the whole thing. It's a whole mess.
A lot of controversy coming out last week. A lot of it.
It's been sticking in my craw since last week. I got a case to make.
Okay.
Oh,
I
boy.
forgot even what it was, but I know you made a big mistake. And that would give me another point, I think.
It's not happening.
So I would have 2 points at this point. All right, Andrew. So it's been fun. They should have beat the Steelers, who are 3-1. They lost to the Raiders. They beat the Dolphins, who are terrible, and they beat the Panthers, who are terrible. And here we go. Buffalo Sunday night in Buffalo. Dildos galore. Look at them fall from the sky. Everyone is complaining about the dildos. Boomer Esiason won't say dildo.
Are they complaining?
I don't know. In the WNBA, they don't like the dildos. I heard they put a net up. Is
Did
that
they
true?
really? I'm not aware of that.
net.
Yeah, like a net, like a not
I'm
like
not
a dildo
aware
catcher.
of that. Is that right?
I mean, that
Someone
I get,
told me that. I don't know if that's true.
They tracked those guys down. They were, forgive me, I'm rough on the details, but like crypto bros who just knew, hey, we're going to go show up and be a-holes about this.
Right. And just the logical conclusion would just be to kick the dildo out of the way. But, you got to make a big production out of it, which ensures another dildo being thrown onto the court. All right, Andrew. Buffalo is good. They're very, very good. They have a very good quarterback, if you haven't heard. This is a litmus test for the Patriots. Do they have a chance on a Sunday night in Buffalo?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that? What do you like in terms of matchups and these things?
Well, for starters, I like the calendar. You get them in early October before Josh Allen and this offense and their defense is soft, by the way, kind of tightens the screws and gets to be who they're going to be. I'd rather get a good team early in the season. There's more unpredictability. Second to that is, again, you can move the ball in this defense. And so the Patriots have had struggles running the ball. But they're starting to hone in on what are our best plays when we do want to run the ball. It's not all the outside zone stuff we saw in Miami and the bootlegs off of that. It's more man-block stuff. And again, didn't run the ball particularly well against Carolina except for some scheme stuff. But this is a game where if Drake May can be as good as Josh Allen, a big ask, but we're seeing the best football from him, all you need then is a turnover to go the other way. And those are two big asks, unlikely to happen.
But wait, what do you mean Drake May plays like Josh Allen? So the expectation is that he matches an MVP of the league?
So again, unlikely. But when you look at they're just a very
But that's a big
box.
ask.
Right.
So you understand,
But
like, when you're like, all it takes is like the impossible.
That's why I follow up, but this is unlikely to happen. But just give me a second here because, again,
I don't
early in
like
the
that.
season.
So far, I don't like it.
When you look at their
Sneezing
basic
at
box score stats, wherever you see Drake May, Josh Allen is right there, right below him.
Mm-hmm.
Drake May has more completions. He has more yards. They had the same number of touchdowns. Their quarterback rating is separated by a point, if not a little bit less than that.
All right.
That's how good Drake May's been playing. And this is not a defense with the Bills. It's going to go, yeah, we're really going to get in your way. Even some of their best players, Christian Benford, who was a great corner for them last year, is just like out to lunch so far this season. So there's a path here. When you ask, is there a chance? If you say no, that means 0.0%.
Pop Douglas goes crazy because who's taking advantage of this corner?
I'm not sure Pop Douglas is going to play this week.
How about the guy who used to be in Buffalo? You think he's going to be a little fired up coming off of his
Who cares?
100-yard season?
Wait, so what are you run a 5.40? Who
Oh,
gives
you
a
mean-
rat's ass?
Oh, I
Physically, how able is
I
he to
didn't
go
know Diggs
nuts?
was going to be excited. Now I changed my mind.
Yeah,
Hold on.
big deal. I'm not saying they can't win. Obviously, they can win. They're a 2-2 team. But
Well, you asked, is there a chance?
Okay.
No, I wanted something more than if Drake May plays like Josh Allen, or if Josh
how about
Allen
this? How
plays
about this?
poorly.
If he continues playing like he's played, that's
Okay.
good enough to win. That's
Okay.
good enough to win
All right,
football.
there you go.
games.
That's a statement.
The one thing,
So I'm saying the same thing.
I'm going to push back
No.
on the first thing that you said is that you're getting Buffalo early. It's week 5. So it's not like you're playing them in week 1 or 2. They're 4-0. And yeah, I think
quarter pole this season.
Quarter pole is the last quarter. You use that incorrectly.
Oh,
okay.
First quarter.
All right. It's the 3/4 pole.
3/4.
Okay.
3/4 pole. 25% to 30% through the season.
But they're 4-0. The only close game they played was against the Ravens. They're fine. And even if you got them early, the talent disparity is still such that I think it's maybe closer to an argument early in the season, but it's not early enough for me to say like, oh, you're catching them early on. They've been at this for a while.
Let me jump ahead. Sunday, I'm going to pick the Bills probably by about 10 points. Okay, so let's make clear about where I stand about the
Okay.
Patriots and what happens on Sunday.
All right.
I think they lose.
All right.
Okay, and by a hefty margin, more than the spread is right now, which is like 7.5, 8.5, depending on where you look.
7.5. I saw this morning.
Can I ask you something though? Like, because you mentioned getting Buffalo early in the season, which is interesting, and I'm not disputing that. But it's a divisional game, right? On Sunday night. So if you were looking to catch Buffalo sleeping, Sunday night negates some of that. Divisional game maybe negates some of that. No?
The point about being early in the season is that all of these teams are kind of building habits, right? By November, you know the plays you're going to run, you know the players you're going to go to. That has been refined. You know what to expect more than you do in September, where the Saints can go play one of the worst football games ever in Seattle and then give the Bills, last week is maybe the worst team in football, a run for their money and come this close at the goal line to getting within a score and pushing them late, because that's what happens in September. Right now, everyone's kind of figuring out, even if you know you're good, you're the Super Bowl favorites in the AFC like Buffalo is, okay? Figuring out who you are and who you want to be. That's what I'm saying. Like, until they land on those answers, even though Buffalo watches that Carolina tape for the Patriots, it goes, we're going to run left because the Panthers ran left all day. We're going to put them in space and force Christian Ellis to tackle and all these guys. And we got plenty of avenues. Not to mention Josh Allen's the best football player on the planet.
That's just that figuring the figuring it out conversation is better had in weeks 1, 2, and 3, not in week 5.
The other part of this is...
forgive me. 13 days later. 14 days later.
Yeah, 2 games later. Yeah, I mean, would you say that the Patriots have figured out a few things more so than they did just based on the way they played against Carolina?
I think they've got more things still to figure out than they figured out through September.
Yeah, with essentially a rookie quarterback. I mean, he's playing in his quote-unquote second year. It feels really more like his first full year. Josh Allen has been doing it longer. If Buffalo needed to figure things out, they probably had them figured out earlier than Drake May and the Patriots offense.
Well, I mean, Drake May has now had more than 16 starts, so he started more than a full season. Like, this isn't to say we know exactly who Drake May is going to be, and he could very well regress. Talk about week to week, which is what the NFL is, a week-to-week league. That could all change Sunday, don't get me wrong. But, like, again, I think if you have a team that, like Buffalo, gave up all those points to Baltimore, gave up all the points to the Saints, even if their talent isn't great, they'll be better in November and December, barring injury, right? And Buffalo being better is a bigger problem for the Patriots than anything else right now. You avoid that problem just because you get them in October.
The other part of it is if you take a look at the early portion of the schedule for Buffalo, it's easy. There are no monsters out there at all until later in the season. Maybe you catch them coasting a little bit, knowing that most of the time all they have to do is show up. And maybe you catch them doing that on Sunday. That would be another path for the Patriots winning this game. Obviously, you look at them on paper, it's a mismatch.
Can I ask you, what do you guys say is success for the Patriots on Sunday? Like, if we all admit they're very, very, very likely to lose.
Being in
the second half.
Yeah, in fourth
just
quarter.
the second half. Okay.
I think fourth quarter.
I agree.
Fourth quarter's
with
my
Fred.
answer, too.
Fourth quarter and
within a score in the fourth quarter.
And the other part of it is if you lose by 17 or something like that, even if you pushed them to the fourth quarter, I don't want to see a collapse at the end of the game saying, okay, we pushed them and now we're done.
All right, so Buffalo beat the Jets, and the score is not indicative of the game. Like, it was over immediately. Like, they just broke their will and destroyed them. There was no late comeback. There was nothing.
Right.
It was from beginning to end ass kicking. If that happens to the Patriots, and I, in fact, think that kind of negates the whole Carolina thing, because you went from this huge victory into this dominant ass kicking. And now, this is dumb sports radio because I'm really splitting hairs. I'm talking about, when a team comes out dead and there's just nothing you can do, and the other team's just putting their will. It's like, and
at the end last year,
and at the end of the game, they take their foot off the gas and you make it look a little bit better.
The New York Jets against the Patriots in Week 3 of last year,
right.
And Aaron Rodgers went nuts and they won 24-3, and they basically ran the ball 15 times in a row.
The best game of the season for them.
Yes,
last year.
I saw a lot of it. Yes,
yeah. So like there are like that kind of game is like just a demoralizing game for the fan base.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means to a team, but I think a comfortable win against a bad team, going out and getting dominated by a good team, kind of negate the two things are in you back where you started, which isn't, again, the win against Carolina. I don't know who's saying it's not a good win. It proves that you're not in the bottom part of the league. It proves that you're a okay team.
Yes.
And okay teams make the playoffs.
Right. If you are a mediocre team, which is what we think the Patriots have kind of progressed to, you should be able to give this team a game.
Right. So
at the
you're,
very least.
and just to reiterate my point, you're not Carolina. right? You're not the Jets. You're not New Orleans. You're not Tennessee. Like, you're better than those teams. You're better than Miami, for God's sake. So you're better than a handful of teams in the AFC. The AFC is a good conference, and Vrabel's done his job. This team is bereft of talent. There's no talent on this team. So the quarterback's playing well. You're not making dumb mistakes in that Carolina game. It's a great win. Whoever's saying it's not is not familiar enough with bad. Bad is bad. Bad as last night.
So the point you're making about, the Bills rolling the Jets, like is a good example of what I'm trying to get across and not doing a good enough job with the schedule piece, right? Because the Jets pushed Pittsburgh in that first game as 34-32.
Right.
You're like, oh, the Jets, they ran a lot of zone. They did it well. Buffalo struggled with zone running against the Ravens in the opener. Week 2, 30-3. Thanks for coming out. Go home, New York Jets. They go to Tampa. They push the Bucs in Tampa to the brink and come up that short, and then, of course, lay the egg like they did last night. What happens in September in the NFL is whatever you saw last is not what's going to happen next, which seems like bad news for the Patriots, and I would bet them not having a repeat performance like they did against the Panthers against Buffalo. And I don't even mean the score. I just mean how clean it was and how good they were. The thing about the talent piece, though, is I'll say this. There's hope for their defense more than in past years because I think they're better built to potentially give Allen problems in that Christian Gonzalez, now healthy, 1 game under his belt, could theoretically shut down one side of the field. And you do not have to decide, do we blitz Josh Allen? Do we try to play coverage? Because Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, and Harold Landry are 3 of the best pass rushers they've had in years here. So if, and this is a huge if, I'm not betting it, you get the best version of them to win up front, where most games are won or lost, you can play coverage. You don't have to make that hard choice about how to Allen and scheme around them. That, to me, I think is part of their pathway here, in addition to just kind of crossing your fingers.
All right. We need to save time for 2 stats in the lab because there's a lot of controversy to cover. We're not going to get to it right away.
A lot of nonsense.
I mean, he took a good thing that he came up with, that we had a good run, and then he's
kind of ruined it.
Yeah, he's put a big wrench into the whole thing.
Yeah.
You are loving this.
So
just
Not
I can't
really,
remember what happened.
I liked the bit until you repeatedly screwed it up to the point.
Okay, doubled and tripled down on your mistake.
Yeah, you're right. I'm loving the fact that we've lost the trust of the audience and turned you into this schmuck.
Wow,
because,
schmuck.
Yeah,
we're going straight to belittling, huh?
It's.
We're going to change your mind in about 4 minutes. How about that?
He's
going
going
very simple case.
He's going to Catskills belittling.
That's a tease.
He is going old Jewish comic belittling. You schmuck.
Yeah.
You schmuck.
Yeah, watching you make a blockhead out of yourself over here. No, I don't
Jackie
love this.
Mason, that was good.
That was Jackie Mason. Yeah. Make room for Herschel, you schmuck. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius.
Two sets, one line, two sets, one line. Now come on, Andrew. Tell us two statistics from the game. But also please tell us one lie. Unless it's one of those 3 weeks where you'll tell us 3 lies.
All right, Nicholas was not here yesterday because now if he can't get a babysitter, he's gone. But that's the way it's going to go. Nick is expecting another boy.
Hey,
Yeah,
congratulations.
He put it on Instagram, so I figure it's a public record.
Yeah.
So there's going to be 2 Gemelli spawn, which negate my 2 spawn. So that's a net 0 for humanity. You know? Let's be honest. Nicholas.
Sunrise, sunset.
All right. Andrew Callahan is doing 2 stats and 1 lie. Andrew, there's some controversy. I'll go to Hardy. Hardy, there is controversy over last week.
Yeah.
There already was a mistake which awarded me a point in one of the weeks already. So this would be the second mistake. Go ahead.
Oh, someone defending him already. Pretty rude, Hardy, calling Andrew Callahan a schmuck. I would have gone with putz. Oy vey.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Putz would have been nicer.
So, last week, we got multiple emails immediately after the 2 stats and a lie having to do with the last NFC team that the Patriots beat leading into the Carolina game. And what did you get wrong, Andrew? I'll give you a chance to fall on your own sword here.
Well, first of all, let me back up because, look, this has been bothering me actually since I texted Wallach when I only caught a piece of this tuning in and that objection. And I love that people love the segment enough to do their own research. Even took a selfie with a guy at Chipotle middle of last week. Shout out Tyler. And I feel bad when things like this happen. And there was a screw up week 1 where I confused the dates. Hunter Henry's birthday and the last time.
Now that you do the show, are you getting recognized more?
I don't know if it's more because of the show, but I get more references or about as much as from TV. I'll say that.
Okay, because for many people that have done this show, Mike Gorman included, it boosts their Q rating very, very high. I'm not making that up.
That
Even Mike
happens.
Gorman
Yeah.
would say that.
So
I got to text him.
I don't like when I make mistakes, period, and I felt bad about this. And the mistake I made was texting Wallach when I only heard half of the case. And I understand the distinction when I said of all the NFC teams that Carolina was the last team that they were able to defeat. And people go, oh, well, when the Patriots beat the Seahawks, they were an AFC team. And this is where you were going, yeah? Okay, because they beat Carolina in January of 2002. The stat in question, though, was built on 2 premises. Number 1, Seattle is an NFC team. Because when you make a list of all the NFC teams right now, Seattle is on that list. Number 2 is the Patriots had beaten them before they first beat Carolina, January 2002. Everything else, where the game was played, the color of the jerseys, where Seattle was or wasn't, is irrelevant. Are they an NFC team? And did the Patriots beat them before January 2002? So I understand the distinction, and I appreciate people jumping in and caring enough to do that. Right? I don't get that much feedback for my film reviews, which takes 13 hours on Mondays.
Yeah, no one's watching.
But there was no... They're not.
Yeah.
I tell
Waste of time.
Yeah. Compared to some stuff, yeah.
All right.
Fred's so pleased with himself right now.
He's rolling.
I don't even know what he's talking about, but I'm just trying to be mean.
So this mistake was not a mistake. I understand why people would object. I get the distinction. It's not hard to get.
So what the bottom line is the Patriots beat the Seahawks when they were in the AFC. And then they beat Carolina, and they haven't beat whatever. So do we count that then? Was Andrew right about that?
I don't know if that alters our scoring at all. Does it?
I think that I get a point then, because I think that
no. My point is, I understand why people construe this as a mistake.
I don't know,
but it's misconstrued. The only thing that matters is Seattle and NFC team.
Oh, says you.
Yes, they are right now.
Okay.
Did the Patriots beat them before 2002? Yes, they did. That's it.
We're gonna have to keep you.
I gave you a point. Right now, the season standings are Andrew has 5. We each have 1.
But if we count the last one as wrong, then I get a point. We're gonna have to. Can you stay an extra break?
Yeah.
Okay, because this debate is taking
and I'll tell you this
very long.
I will make sure there's no gray area, no more ambiguity.
Yeah, you're
right?
getting too cute for your own
This was
good.
my Steelers game. All right. I played better. It's not going to happen. But I'll tell you, the only mistake I've made so far with 2 stats and a lie was a Hunter Henry date in week 1.
Okay. By the way, I remember because Hardy, I said that the lie was the Seahawks thing. So if he was wrong about that, then I would get a point, which may shift your judgment a little bit of how you want to rule on this. I guess we'll let Adam rule on it because I'm sure he's real locked in.
But we would have to
There's a whole other situation happening here with podcasts and music and all sorts of nonsense we got to talk about.
Oh, they're
after the
taking
show
our
today.
podcast down because of the music?
Yeah, it's more complicated than that, but we'll talk about that. But I'm sharing it now because I haven't really been paying close attention. I apologize.
I thought we were getting a 2 stats and live podcast. I was excited.
I already gave you.
Good news.
People love it.
I gave you the point from the week 1 Hunter Henry birthday thing,
Mistake.
right?
Yep.
All right. I don't know how I voted last week.
If you rule Andrew, you did it. I'm the only one who said the Seattle thing was the lie. So if you guys want to say that he was wrong, then I get a point. If you say that he wasn't wrong, then I don't get a point. It's really up to you. I'm too involved. There's too much at stake for me. I can't be a neutral observer. You two can because who cares? It's really about beating Andrew. So you make the decision.
I care less about the points. Look, I want to win. I want to win everything. Sure. But I think I've made the case clear. Where Seattle was or wasn't is irrelevant to the fact they're an NFC team now, and the Patriots beat them before they ever beat the Panthers.
Your question,
it's interesting for the guy who doesn't care about the points is the guy who's losing points week after week because he screws it up. The guy who never cared about the points,
and I admitted to that.
Now cares about the points because he thinks he's owed a point, and that's Fred.
But the question, regardless of
if I've implied I care, then we are far too down the road.
I'm going to give you a point right now.
Okay.
All right, so now you have 2.
So you're saying Andrew was wrong?
Yes, the question, regardless of intent, was ambiguous.
All right, well, that's a big strike against Andrew.
The facts are the facts. It was built on 2 premises. Both of them check out.
How about this? Fred gets a point. I won't take away any of your points.
I just told you. I know I was right.
Okay.
Now,
I don't know
now
why.
Take the points
that's
away.
Not been clear.
Now take the points
John
away.
just was like, I heard what you said, but I wasn't really listening. I don't care. That was his answer.
Nobody.
Me?
No, John.
Oh.
Nobody likes this
Maybe,
whole.
though.
This whole 3 weeks could be all lies thing.
That's what you're really upset about. To me, this is a vehicle for you just to continue to be grumpy about
I want to take that away as punishment.
No, there's nothing objectively to be punished.
Okay, so I, of course, get that point.
And there's
very
only 2 weeks
exciting.
left. I believe in you. You know how that rule works. It's very simple.
Listen. He can do what he wants. It's his game.
I think you have the highest winning percentage anyway on this. Like that rule helps you more than anybody else, Hardy.
Yeah.
Now he's just trying to butter me up.
I know that's
kind of working
that's
too.
Blatant.
Yeah,
No.
After the Jim Rice fiasco, he's up for any kind of reassurances. All right,
Driveline.
That's
Hardy.
a Hall of Famer. Yeah. Giving him the cold shoulder. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. We will play 2 stats.
We got a good one this week.
All right, good. We will play that in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher It.
It takes 10 stats from the other night. And one lie, see if you can get it right.
All right. We are Toucher and Hardy. Andrew Callahan is here. You can see him, his bright mug on YouTube. If you subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube, we can get that going. 2 stats and a lie. I guess because of his errors, I now have 2 points, which is exciting for everyone. And I went from none to 2 without getting anything right, really. In the last since this whole contest has been, you guys were up 1-0, and now I have 2 points somehow. The guy who can't understand the game somehow has weaseled his way into 2 points. All right, Andrew.
You might have 5 by the end of today.
Because 5 is the thing with the 3 is the thing if they're all live.
He's tossing this thing in now.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, if they're all lies and you guys catch me, you get 3 points.
Okay.
You got 2 more weeks to the end of the season. That's it. It's very simple. I believe in you guys. Number 1.
Wait, 2 more weeks and then we're done with this?
No. There are 2 weeks left
okay.
this season where I could drop in 3 lies. I will not tell you when. If you catch me, you get 3 points.
Okay, very good.
Very good. Number 1.
Yes.
Since Sean McDermott was hired in Buffalo in 2017, Patriots quarterbacks have thrown more interceptions than touchdowns against the Bills. Since Sean McDermott was hired as the head coach in Buffalo in 2017, Patriots quarterbacks have thrown more interceptions than touchdowns against the Bills. Number 2. Stephon Diggs has more yards than any Patriots receiver has had through week 4 since Tom Brady left. Stephon Diggs has more yards than any Patriots receiver has had through week 4 since Tom Brady left.
All right.
I'll give you that total once we get through the number 3. Number 3. Before this season, Drake May had not thrown an NFL touchdown pass while leading. Before this season, Drake May had never thrown an NFL touchdown pass while leading.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So Diggs, for number 2, has 213 yards through week 4, more than any Patriots receiver has had through week 4 since Tom Brady left.
All right. I will go first because I have a pretty good idea what I'm doing. I am saying 3 is the lie. They're either all lies or 3 is the lie. Because, you know what? I'm going to say they're all lies. But
wow.
I'm saying they're all lies.
Oh,
wow.
Well,
Now-
he's got the lead. He can afford to.
Yeah.
Controversy.
Well, so I'm going to say they're all lies because I'm banking on this. That the Jets game that Brissett came into last year that I was at, they were leading when May got hurt. So I'm hoping that I'm right that May threw a touchdown. I have no way of thinking that, but I do know that they played with the lead with May in that game. So I'm throwing a Hail Mary here. I'm going, it's all in on the table.
Okay.
He's the Russian, and I'm putting it all in the middle. I'm saying it's all lies.
Number 1, Sean McDermott took over the Bills 2017. Pats quarterbacks had thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. Is that in Buffalo or
Just
both
against
places?
the Bills.
Against the Bills. See, that I think you want us to think about that one too much. That sounds ridiculous, and I'm going to say that's a lie, but I also think that the Drake May one is a lie. I feel like he could have thrown a touchdown pass with the Patriots up like 3-0 at some point. You know, like
they were up in that Jets game when he got hurt. I was there. So I think because Brissett led him for a drive to win the game. Brissett was that, but I think I remember May playing well. So I'm not positive though. I'm just saying they're all lies. I'm going all in.
Mm-hmm. Artie, what do you think?
I love all in Fred.
All in Fred.
I always go first.
Okay.
So I'm going last this time.
All right, that's fine. I don't think Fred is correct. I think there is some truth out there. I think that Sean McDermott in 2017 Patriots quarterback more interceptions and touchdowns. There's been some really bad quarterback play over the last 3 or 4 years here. Stephon Diggs, there haven't been a lot of great wide receivers here either. So I think that Diggs one is true. I'm going to go number 3 is the lie.
All right, so you agree with me?
No, the first two are true.
Yeah, but
the
you
third one
but you
is the
said
lie.
you don't agree with me, but I was banking on 3. So, pish posh. Because if I wasn't saying they were all lies, I was going to say 3 was the lie.
Okay.
Follow along.
Okay.
That makes sense to everyone else.
33% is how much he agrees.
3 is the lie.
I'm just got balls of steel.
I'm so convinced that number 1 is true that it has to be a lie.
I bet you're right on this.
And
you did this last week.
And I also live by the motto that the action is the juice, and I just love the action. So I'm going to go number 1 is the lie, so that we all have something different. Fred says all 3 are lies. Wallach says
3.
Number 3 is the lie. I say number 1
Which
is the lie.
guarantees that 2 is the lie.
If it is,
Yeah.
Callahan will be even more insufferable.
I got bad news for you, Hardy. 2 is the lie.
Yeah, told you.
You just, I'm telling you, whatever
Who has
happened
more
to Fred
yards
last
than
year.
Diggs?
3 guys, and I'll get through them.
Whoa.
But you get it right the first time, the last 2 weeks, and then you pivot. It's the same stuff Fred was doing last year.
I didn't have it right. I just
No, he didn't confuse the game, though. He actually knows how to play the game.
So I'm going to write this later in the week.
You know, we should have known that one. We should have known that one was the lie, because just because Diggs had a good game, that it makes you think, oh, he's got a ton of yards. But he even told us the yards. That was a huge thing too. He was willing to provide information on the staff.
Well, think about it. Cam Newton was the quarterback one of those years, but he played a good game in the first game. Remember the people were talking about him being MVP after the first game? That really happened.
Second week. Because they went to Seattle.
That was Seattle, huge numbers.
Just at the beginning of the season.
He threw for 350 or something?
So speaking of that Seattle game, there are 3 receivers who've had more than 213 yards through week 4 for the Patriots since Tom Brady left. Number 1 is Julian Edelman in 2020.
I almost said Edelman. I almost said it because he was here the first, yes.
And he did nothing the rest of the year because he's on a bum knee, but he had 294 yards. Jacoby Myers the next year, 246.
Wow.
And this one I do not remember, except I know this season they were throwing the ball long a lot early. Nelson Aguilar had 225 yards through week 4.
Big free agent signing.
2022.
Yeah. Boy,
so
when everything was breaking right.
Yeah.
The hook on this was the thing that's freshest in your mind. Stephon Diggs goes for 101. He's only got 213, but those 3 guys have had more. Now, I said I'm going to write about this this week. I've actually already written about it because since Sean McDermott was hired in Buffalo, Tom Brady threw more interceptions than touchdowns against the Bills. So this isn't even a Cam Newton or Mac Jones sucks or Bailey Zappi thing. This is a fundamental thing about the Bills' defense, where the Patriots have thrown 15 touchdowns, but 16 picks because he had a handle on McDaniels while he was here with Mac Jones and Brady that nobody else did. So that's something that's going to be intriguing for Sunday. And I almost brought up and blew it when we were talking about this earlier in the show. Number 3, Drake May did not throw a single touchdown pass last season with the lead. What you're thinking of, Fred, was a rushing touchdown. So he was 3 of 6 in that game, but he ran for a score.
Okay.
And that was a tied game. It was 0-0. So they did not have the lead.
Oh, that's right. I didn't think of a tie.
But he had 2 against Carolina, touchdown passes with the lead, and 1 against Miami in week 2, and that's it for his career. Every other time, he's either treading water or trying to get back to the surface.
All right. Well, it shows you how dominant a win that was and how rare that's been for the Patriots.
Andrew's got 2 stats, but he's got 1 line. He's got 1
That McDermott stat is one of my favorites. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is that he figures out McDaniels, and that's a good tidbit going into the game on Sunday night. Maybe McDaniels outthinks himself.
That's 3 years with Brady.
Yeah.
God.
And even some of their best games, they just ran the crap out of the ball. In 18, that last game, they just ran a ton of jet motion, and the Patriots win 24-12. Brady didn't have a good game. He had 1 touchdown and 2 picks.
Who was the quarterback for that wind and rain game up in Buffalo?
That was Mac Jones.
Mac
He was
Jones.
2 of 3.
Yeah.
No touchdowns, no picks. Cam Newton didn't really have a pick problem against the Bills either. Bailey Zappi had a bad game in there. Brady, again, wasn't good. And then Drake didn't he was like fine last year, but Joe Milton almost brought this to even.
Oh, that's right.
It's funny because I remember games just based on the asinine callers the next day. So, like, the win in Buffalo in the hurricane, like, everyone was like, Mac Jones, and you're like, he threw the ball 3 times.
That might have even been 2.
And then, well, you just said 3. And then Cam Newton, I remember the MVP talk after that second game.
Yeah.
I guess I thought it was the first game, but the second game, like, I remember people going, like, he's going to be the MVP. I remember being in Brighton on TV, just going, this is what we're doing today, is that he's going to be the MVP. That was callers. Come on, girl! And then I was at that Jet game.
That Bills game in the wind, for me, is like the turning point for Bill losing his touch in his mind. Because we all say, oh, they won. What a great plan. No. You want to throw the football. You can't throw the football. And in that same game, he put N'Keal Harry, you remember this? On punt return for the first time in his career. Back at the 5-yard line. What does N'Keal Harry do? He fumbled the football on his first career punt return in a 50-mile-an-hour windstorm.
Yeah.
I mean, even you might even instruct the guy, don't even field it.
Yeah.
Like, just stay away. Like, we're not even going to mess around with trying to, like, judge where that ball is.
Oh, he's a wide receiver. He can catch. He's Troy Brown. He can catch.
Yeah, he doesn't
no
catch, like, things falling from the sky and it's like knuckleballs being blown all over the place.
Then they lost 3 or 4, and, everything else after that was no good.
Yeah. Well, now, I'll do this while you're here. Now Mike Lombardi has talked. We might have audio of this coming up tomorrow, but I can tell you this. Mike Lombardi was on a podcast with Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick literally it's transcribed. He just grunts. It just says grunt, like a cartoon.
Why wasn't this in the transcripts I got from the Patriots?
Did Ryan find this, or should I read it? I don't care either way.
No, you can read it today. We have audio we're going to play tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'll just cut to the chase. So this is a radio show in wherever the hell they are, UNC. Here is a quote from Mike Lombardi.
God.
He's asked if the UNC shaky 2-2 start this season could impact future recruiting or the retention of previous commitments. Here is Lombardi. Everybody says, well, you didn't win, so you're going to lose the commits, he said. No. Actually, their eyes get bigger because they want to play sooner. So that's really a good thing. And you just have to keep recruiting them.
He is a treasure.
He is unbelievable.
He is something.
Can you imagine caring about that team? Like, you really care about it? And this is and then the GM in quotations of it is this bumbling idiot that's telling you that, oh, no. It's like, what? The spin on it is ridiculous. No. Like this is not winning. It's part of the plan. We wanted to be on national TV with everyone watching, like the most people ever watching a UNC football game. And that might literally be the case, and get just our doors blown off. That was good for recruiting. He's unbelievable.
That's as bad as Nico Harrison telling everyone, everyone's starting to see the vision now that we got Cooper Flagg.
Yeah,
this is why we traded Luka, and we'll just bring in this generational player with a 1% chance. There's actually, you speak of someone who cares about UNC football. One person in my life, I don't know if he's ever been on the show, Chris Cotillo from Mass Live.
Yeah.
I would love this week, because I love the bus balls with Chris, if you invited him on, seemingly to talk Red Sox playoffs, big week for them, and just hammer him about Lombardi and UNC.
He can't like what's going on.
Cotillo,
I don't. He is thrilled about Belichick, and I'm sure he's not listening right now. So I think there's I don't know. Would love a little gotcha here.
He's thrilled about Belichick.
I don't know about recently, but even going into it was he went to the first game. He goes to UNC.
But he went to UNC.
Yes. Oh,
he wears the Tar Heel blue sweatshirt constantly.
I tell you, that is fascinating, because when I was down there, I was talking to people. The overwhelming notion, like Amos said,
I don't care.
they don't care. They care about basketball first and foremost. Yeah, they know what's going on, but it's not a topic of conversation.
Oh, it is for Chris.
Wow.
My guy.
All right.
And it's just great that Lombardi is on that thing with Bill, so Bill can just grunt. Like, Bill's too he can't do the radio show. He's too big. He has a guy he's like Prince. He's Morris Day. And Prince just sits there being coy while Morris Day does the rap.
I'm beginning to see the genius of hiring him now.
Yeah, oh yeah. You want a real dummy to be your puppet. That's what you want. Two dummies knocking heads together.
The worse we lose, the better it is.
Yeah, guys, this is all part of the plan. Like, the plan was to have everyone come back, Michael Jordan, Lawrence Taylor, have them all be in the building and get just destroyed and humiliated. That was the plan. It is great for recruiting. That's why Alabama can't get anyone. That's why Georgia doesn't get anyone. That's why Michigan's always floundering, is because they're too good. You know, oftentimes that was the downfall, and a lot of people were angry at J.J. McCarthy. Tank the national championship game, buddy. Like, what are we doing here?
That's why Nick Saban had to leave. He wasn't getting anybody.
I mean, who wants the kid on the sidelines during a big win on national TV? That's the worst recruiting tool, because the kid's going to just say, they're too good. I don't like this.
You really don't know who Bill Belichick is.
And that's the parody of college football. That's why it's different schools every year in the top 25. This playoff format, different schools all the time. You know, you go Boise State's a non-power power 3, non-power 3 football team. And you go, but they keep getting in. It's counterintuitive, because you would think that once that small program establishes a winning culture, that no one would want to go there. What a fool. What an idiot. Losing is good. The recruits like losing. Nick Saban all the time. Let's lose. We're winning too much. What an idiot. He's unbelievable with his typewriter. He's a fool. Oh, I don't even know him, and I hate him. I really do. I hate him so much.
Sometimes the mistakes that you deleted have really powerful messages in them.
He thinks he's smarter than everyone, and that everyone's just going to go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. He said that with a straight face. Like, anybody is going to go, oh, yeah, that's good. It's a good point.
All right.
If there's a program smart enough.
12, we need to get Cotillo on.
Alabama offers you $2 million to go play safety for him.
Just spring it on him. Yeah. Play the sound. Just nose right into this mess. Just twist his little face.
But he'll prepare you for the NFL, except for the Patriots, who he won't allow in the building. He ain't going to be. He's retiring in quotations after this year, like you wouldn't believe. And the idea that his kids are taking over from him is a fool's errand. I can assure you
that's why you lose, so you lose your job, so the kid can get the job.
Right.
This is all uphill, all downhill for me.
I can only hope Lombardi's there to shepherd him through the existence.
The transcript is literally just grunt. He can't be bothered talking Belichick.
Can you send me that? The transcript would love to read it.
Yeah, I can send it. Okay. All right. And it's got the audio. We might play that audio tomorrow, because I can't believe he said that. He thought that people were going to go. He doesn't believe that. What an idiot.
He might, though. An idiot would believe that.
I don't know. I think it's more like an idiot would think that you'd believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's pulling the wool over your eyes. Like, when a 3-year-old, like, hides with his feet under, you can see his feet behind the curtain, and they think they're being sly, and you pretend that you can't see them. That's like what he thinks. He's like a 3-year-old hiding behind the curtain.
I know way more about this.
No, you don't. You don't. You really don't. You don't.
No.
You sit in a room with Belichick, you know way more about Belichick than I do, but certainly you don't know anything about him with your typewriter. All right. Andrew Callahan, read him in the Herald. Thank you for coming in. You know what? Let's play your Jaylen Brown interview next, while the iron's hot. Do you want to do that or no? Or do you want to do email? What do you want to do?
I want to do email. I wanted to save. I figure we could do Brown tomorrow and Pritchard the next day, because we got stuff to fill. So, yes. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We'll do email next. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks,
we'll
guys.
be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, it's Hardy telling you that Next Day Molding is now open on the Cape in Hyannis. Where...
the email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
We're Toucher and Hardy. If you want to email us, go to 985thesportshub.com and find our emails.
Dave said, all great artists reach a point where they really need to push the limits of what's acceptable to keep their mojo. Think Prince. Think Kanye and his anti-Semitism. Now think Andrew Callahan. Let him have his 3 lies. It keeps us on our toes. Let the big dog off the leash.
Yeah, it's like when Lou Reed did the album with Metallica. That was it's like push the boundaries, make some magic. You can follow us on social media at Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985, and at Fred Toucher, where if you don't think I'm taking another picture with Kendra and putting it up on Friday, you're out of your mind.
Oh.
Adam's figured out the
algorithm.
The algorithm.
He's unlocked genius
I picked
mode.
up 300 followers just from taking that
Did
picture
you
with
really?
Kendra.
Right. Oh, I have to do that.
Like
now.
he understands the algorithm. I don't have any idea what's
Is
going
she
on.
back from vacation
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Friday?
I think she said she was coming back today on the air.
Yeah,
I don't know.
she's in this Friday. I
Yeah.
think it's like later next month. She's away for a week or so.
Yeah, she said she's going to Scotland.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
right.
So, by the way, did you guys watch any of that Jets Miami game? And not
Yes.
for the game.
No.
Who was besides Orlovsky? Who was the other color commentator?
I don't know.
Was it Ryan Clark? Because it was a mess.
I don't
It
know
was
the other.
terrible. It made me appreciate the teams that do it.
Was it Chris Fowler who was calling the game?
The play-by-play was fine,
Yeah.
but they had 2, and Joe Buck made a good point about not doing a 3-man booth, that it's usually a disaster.
It was Chris Fowler, Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick.
Oh, Louis Riddick.
Okay.
So Louis Riddick and Orlovsky are good analysts, but it was asking a lot to have them do a Monday night game, but it was too much. Too much, the 2 of them. They needed to just one of them in the booth. 3-man booth where they didn't have any chemistry. Because you can't have 2 ex-players and the play-by-play guy that are like, because Riddick is the guy that is considered for GM jobs, and Orlovsky is, a great, mind of the game, right? Like breaking things down. If you're gonna have a 3-man booth, you got to have. If you're gonna have 2 ex-athlete, one analyst guy and one goofy Charles Barkley kind of guy.
Yeah, that's ESPN tried that for a while when they had Dennis Miller in.
I like Dennis Miller on Monday Night
they had
Football.
it, but during Monday Night Football's heyday, it was always 3 guys.
Yeah, I know, but it was Cosell who was a force of nature, and it was Gifford who was the analyst, and then it was what's his face who was the goofy Southern Egg.
They had what was it when Al Michaels was calling Monday Night Football with Gifford and was it Deerdorf? I forget, but
Al Michaels was the Monday Night Football with Dennis Miller and and Fouts. It was Dennis Miller and Fouts.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so not good yesterday. All right, I have an email for you, Hardy. I ended up having a school thing for my son. I could not help him host the great Strikes for Tykes event that was going on at that David Andrews was putting on. And David Andrews went up to Hardy. He goes, "What's this about Fred saying that I gave him the cold shoulder?" Him and I talked it out. I didn't think he knew who I was. But then Hardy said, had told me before the show that Jim Rice had given him the cold shoulder. So when he was relating the David Andrews story to me on the air, he was making sport of me and saying, "Oh, what did you want him to do? Give you a kiss?" I go, "I don't know. What did you want Jim Rice to do?" Aha! I caught him.
Gaslighting. Go ahead.
Richard Lewis, who the Richard Lewis, who has unfortunately passed away. But this is Richard Lewis.
From the great beyond.
Jim Rice is weird. I simply said hi to him at the Best Buy at the Cambridge Galleria, and he stared at me and didn't say anything. I kept walking through the store. Later, I saw him staring at me from behind the TV. He was like the redheaded stranger.
Whoa. Hello.
I said hi to him. He said nothing. He stalked me for the rest of the afternoon. I went to go get ice cream, and he was there, still staring.
Hello.
Oh, I think Jim Rice has probably met many people, and he probably has all the people in his life that he needs. And
Yeah,
I wasn't one of them.
No
That's
need
all.
for new friends.
That's
and-
okay.
Nah.
I was fine. I had plenty of friends there last night.
But David Andrews is cool with me, right? I spent 5 minutes talking to him.
Yes.
We might as well have broken bread.
Yes.
Did you see how I went in there? I went in there. This is new
You
Fred.
did. Very proactive.
I went in there and I said,
"There's a problem. I'm going to solve it. Let's smooth this sumbitch out."
There's nothing
well
to smooth
done.
out. He just said, "Why do you think?" I go. Yeah, I
Well,
didn't
there was
think you know who I was.
controversy. You
I
wanted
said,
to
"I
get
didn't
rid
think
of
you know
it."
who I was."
Yes, you took care of that. Nipped it right in the bud.
And then
well
we talked
done.
about Atlanta. It was a whole thing. Tommy with an eye says, "I'm surprised you guys haven't gotten audio from Belichick's press conferences after a loss. There's just been so much Belichick and Lombardi stuff that I haven't even thought of it."
But I mean, Belichick, I'm sure he's the same way to those guys, and he can be even more ruthless.
We had a piece of one. I think after the first game, we pulled a little bit of it, and it was just.
But
it's just like grunting.
But the thing is, to a college town that thought he was a god when he showed up, he can be even more ruthless to them. He doesn't care.
Oh, no, he certainly does not care.
What I'm saying is Lombardi is the story, not him. He's probably the same as he ever was, probably even more rude.
Yeah, Lombardi.
This is unbelievable.
Because it's funny because you know that part of his contract is he's got to do that radio show. So his whole plan
So I'm
is
going to bring this puppet with me. He'll do the speaking, and I can just sit there.
So you're already there, all right? You're like sitting there with a headset on. You can't be bothered to talk with a microphone in front of your face. You're so put upon to do the radio show that you will sit there with headset on and a microphone in front of you, but you're too put upon to talk. You got to have Lombardi talk to you for you. Is there another college coach in the history of college football that's done that? That is like Prince with Morris Day. It's Andy Warhol used to go on talk shows with Edie Sedgwick. And Warhol would whisper in Edie Sedgwick's ear and she'd talk for him. It's like that. Like he's like Warhol now. Like tee. At least Warhol was shot. He had an excuse.
Even at the height of his success, Nick Saban, Belichick's best buddy, even at the height of his success, Saban did a weekly show. And he was very, very good at it.
And what's funny is Saban does this commercial with Deion Sanders, and they're in a boardroom, and they're like, causing havoc. And Saban's so stiff, and Deion's so natural. And Saban, and I looked at the commercial, and I said, look at this dud. What a dud. But listen, some of the best duds. But one, I sounded a little Trumpy when I said that. What a dud. But but I'm sitting there, and I'm going, but look at what he did. He left Alabama, and now he's on TV. He's in commercials. He didn't have to do anything. He's making millions of dollars. Everyone loves him. He was a big dick, too. But he was able to be human at one point and pivot.
I think the difference is, and maybe I'm stating something that's obvious to people who study these things, but for Belichick or Lombardi, these guys, they would love to talk football, and they want to teach football and instruct football, but they want to lecture. What they don't want are questions. They certainly don't want anybody questioning them, and they don't even really want to entertain the question. I think they want to stand up and they want to tell people what's what, and they love the sound of their own voice when it comes to talking about the things that they know a lot about. And of course, Belichick knows a lot about football. I don't think he wants to suffer through the ignorant question or the uninformed question, whereas guys like Saban were more willing to do that. And I think there's a lot of really smart football guys that will understand, hey, you're asking a question from somebody who hasn't followed and studied and coached the game for 40 years. So yes, I'm willing to entertain your rather elementary question here and have a conversation like a person.
And that goes miles in recruiting. I mean, everything is online these days. Recruits like, well, should I play for Belichick? Well, he just, he's won a bunch of stuff, but he just clicks and grunts and has this idiot talk for him. Or do I want to go to, I don't know, just talk about Dabo Swinney? That's a bad example because he's not doing well. But take a successful head coach who does a weekly show and it's on video and you see a passionate, well, we got to do this, we got to do this. This is what I'm looking for. Let me answer that question. Which, if you're a recruit and money is equal, which guy do you want to go play for?
Oh, yeah. There's the charismatic guy. And also, by the way, you're doing that. There's a reason the school has you doing that. Is that you're there to make the school money and promote the product.
Jesus.
If no one cares about what you're doing, then it doesn't matter. The reason you have a post-game press conference is to keep people caring. Like, to give people talking points throughout the week. Like, there's a reason that you're doing all these things. And I get being a dick in a post-game conference. I understand it. Like, you're frustrated. You're up in front of the media. I could see snapping every now and again, like once a season. I'll give you that. That's just being human. Not everyone's perfect all the time. But they go, hey, you got to do this radio thing. Oh, you got to do this radio thing. Oh, fine. I'm bringing Lombardi. And then they put headphones on, and the guy just stares at you. That's some, like, Maynard James Keenan stuff.
And the other thing is,
big artists can't be bothered talking to the radio guy. And by the way, what pressing questions, I'm sure, from the NC University radio station or whatever the hell he's on. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about this, and the money is equal. The money's never going to be equal. The SEC, who, by the way, you're trying to compete with and you're trying to get recruits up from, will always offer athletes more money than you. They have a bottomless supply. So if you're recruiting against Oklahoma or Alabama or Georgia or LSU, they're always going to offer more NIL money than you are. You have to get by on personality. You got to make up the difference somehow. If you're a raging dick, it's not going to help you at all.
Well, you're also trying to sell the program because it's a basketball school and they brought you in specifically to raise the profile of the program.
Somehow you have to make up the difference. Mike Lombardi's not going to help you make up the difference if a school is if a five-star is debating between you and LSU.
I just got a text from a friend of mine. I went to the Broncos game last night and we were going back in a pedicab and we got talking about Belichick, and I had my friend who I had no idea listened to you started going off about how it's all this guy in Boston sports radio talks about. And I defended the F out of you.
Good.
Yeah. So, listen, I do have my passions, and this is one of them. It's fascinating, and it really is. Again, if I would have told you 5 years ago that people would be openly mocking Bill Belichick while he coached an ACC team, you would tell me my head wasn't on straight.
Well, same thing 5 years ago when we were talking about Tom Brady statues and the just the foregone conclusion that there was going to be a Belichick statue too. And I know Robert Kraft just said it when they unveiled the Brady one, but even people then roll their eyes and were like,
not a chance.
But is that something people are clamoring for at this moment? And there's no way Belichick's going to come back for it. If you're alive and they put up a statue of it and you find out, there's no way he's coming back for the statue, then you don't put up the statue.
No,
and he's not coming back, and I don't think anybody wants one anyway.
I bet you
How much has changed?
People do want it here, but
who wants a Belichick statue here right now?
I would argue that it's a non-issue more than anything. Like no one needs a Belichick statue to be happy. Like, that just doesn't exist. You're not going to go to a Patriots game to see the Belichick statue. So it's all nonsense anyway.
And by the way, Bill's not coming back.
Bill would come back. Believe me, he'd come back. If they built a statue and had a big, shiny event for him to praise him and have a crowd cheer, absolutely he'd come back. I disagree. I think he would come back in 10 seconds. You're giving him too much credit.
I think Robert Kraft said it because he knew Bill wouldn't do it. And as soon as Robert passes away, whenever that is, and gives the franchise to his son, that will continue. Because you remember Bill took a swipe at Jonathan, a couple weeks ago.
What will continue?
That the animosity between Bill
the animosity I think will only grow.
I think the only way Bill comes back here is if the Kraft family sells a team, which is not going to be for a very long time.
By the way, I'm supposed to go out of town, and just in the eye of a hurricane. The hurricane reaches that point of the country.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so I suppose that won't be an issue.
Okay.
And by the way, with the government shuts down and TSA agents aren't getting paid, I'm sure
when is that happening?
Tonight at midnight.
Yeah.
So the TSA and the air traffic controllers are all federal, and they have to work. Sometimes a lot of them will agree to work without pay. I guess it's like back paid, but they will work without getting paid that pay period. Like I assume that hours will be paid for eventually, but a lot of people call in sick. That's what happened last time. So you're talking about huge waits at the airport. You're talking about canceled flights because there's not enough air traffic controllers. That's great. It's a whole thing.
That's great.
It's a whole thing. Jeez. So between the hurricane and the government shutting down, it should be a lovely trip. I'm not flying down in a hurricane. I'll just tell you that. I don't think they'll fly into it.
I hadn't even thought about the TSA thing, the traffic controllers, because I'm leaving on Thursday.
There you go. It's going to be a whole thing. All right.
Great.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment to finish things up. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline. on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show?
It's too stack money. It's too stack money. Ready?
It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and as we finish things up, Hardy, what is going on in the world that we should get to?
Media day yesterday for a lot of NBA teams, including the Celtics, and Marcus Smart speaking for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I got bought out as well. So, this is a big year for me and my family. Like I said, those 2 years kind of went under the radar. People probably forgot a little bit what I can do and what I bring to the table. This year is definitely huge for me, and to be able to bring back to light what I've done my whole career.
Yeah, we'll see about that, Marcus. By the way, Victor Wembanyama listed at 7'3" all of last season, now listed at 7'4". They said he had a growth spurt. He's still growing. Now,
getting back to Marcus Smart for a second.
Yes.
He's perfect for that team because he won't have the ball enough to shoot. There's so many other players that are going to be taking shots on that team. The ball will never go to Marcus.
No,
Marcus, I tell you what, you just stay on the defensive end of the floor. We don't even need you up here. Just do what you do best.
Right.
We'll play 4-on-5 at the other end.
Play defense. You're good at that. Just do that.
Anyway, Wembanyama, 7'4".
They're saying that he actually grew. They're not just juicing his stats for the program and for the website. They're saying he actually got a little bit taller. He says he's been eating a lot.
Of course. That's how most growth spurts start.
It's not unheard of. When did Dennis Rodman grow? He was 20.
Okay.
He was still growing. He got really tall. Well, I guess starting when he was like 18, he had his growth spurt.
Yeah, Rodman ended up like at a junior college, and he grew 6 inches or something.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And he became super athletic. He still wasn't good, but he was a great defender.
Rex Ryan weighing in on Shedeur Sanders also. Rex had this to say.
We're all waiting to see the Shedeur Sanders be the guy or Gabriel, whatever. Something's missing. Something's missing with this kid. This kid talks. He runs his mouth like I could be a starting quarterback with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row and study and do all that. If I know, the whole league knows. Quit being an embarrassment that way. You got the talent to be the quarterback. You should be. You should be embarrassed that you're not the quarterback now.
Yeah, we've heard that too, is that he's not, I guess that's what Rex Ryan heard. He's not fully digesting the playbook.
Not a shock.
At least that was, it's kind of shocking. I would think he's a bright kid. I would assume. I don't know why he's not picking it up.
So much talking. He shows up at his first game with like an entourage. And stands in front of the media. He clearly cares more about how he looks than how he plays.
Well, that's all he can do right now. If it's important for him to be out there and visible, he's not going to do it by way of doing things on the field. So he has to make himself visible by the way he shows up and presents himself and all this other stuff.
Well, Deion Sanders, like when he got drafted, was very funny. He got drafted right after Barry Sanders, and they were like, what if Detroit took you? And he said some funny stuff. So the miscalculation here is that Deion Sanders did everything right. He was, he was outrageous. He was, had that vanity to him. He was, Showtime. He was with MC Hammer, which was a very, very lucrative pairing for the both of them.
Too legit to quit.
He performed on Saturday Night Live. Here's the difference. He might be one of the top 4 greatest athletes ever to play in the NFL. Shedeur Sanders isn't. So Shedeur Sanders is a kid that could probably, I don't know anything about him, probably could be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but it's not like his talent does not. If what everyone's saying is true, and he's like, I don't see much of Shedeur Sanders. Like, I don't see him. He's not on my algorithm. But if he's being this way, he's taking it from his dad and he's marketing himself. And he did it very well in college. That's why the whole draft was about Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
The marketing in college worked. His dad coming in, raising the profile of the program, all the celebrities. Everyone knows his dad is maybe the most respected guy in the NFL. And if Tyreek Hill is too. Like when Tyreek Hill got hurt last night, like everyone from both teams was like around that cart. Like it was a whole thing. So he's just, trying to do what his dad did. But the problem is his dad was a once in a two-generation athlete, and that's just not the case.
Cleveland 1-3, just real quick.
Yeah.
Cleveland 1-3. There's talk about benching Joe Flacco, which is where this Shedeur Sanders stuff has come up and why people are talking about it. Something to think about in the future. Cleveland at the Patriots, October 26th.
Ooh.
That might move up. If there's Shedeur Sanders, that's his first start. That might move up the chain of quality of football that you're about to
That
see.
is not only that. Let's extrapolate this out a little bit. Cleveland at the Patriots, the 26th, Fox game.
Ooh, you're saying Tommy B in the place
That's
to be.
exactly what I'm saying.
There was a flex on the schedule. The Patriots and Saints on October 12th will now be played at 1 p.m.
That's fine by me.
That's great. I love the 1 o'clock starts. Finally, Pablo Torre not letting this Steve Ballmer thing go. Now he's talking about the fact that Ballmer donated almost $2 million to the charity of the guy behind this Aspiration marketing company that he says he got duped by. It was fraudulent. He didn't know Aspiration. Meanwhile, he's paying Kawhi Leonard all this money for stuff that Kawhi Leonard didn't have to do. So everyone is saying, oh, it's an extra payment to Kawhi Leonard for being on the Clippers. Ballmer donated $2 million to the charity over a year and a half after they ended the deal with them, and he knew that he was being defrauded. So why did he continue to donate to this guy's charity, nearly $2 million donation, after the deal was already done and he claimed he knew that this thing was a scam? Torre's not letting it go. This is Pablo Torre's help.
Good call.
Ryan's a chatterbox. You get him in there, he just won't stop.
I know. Shut the F up already.
It's actually perfect because with the amount I go on and on and on in the post-show meetings, if we had another person that talked as much as me, we'd be in big trouble. Pre-show meeting, not a peep.
Oh yeah.
Post-show meeting, I'm all warmed up.
Right. Just when the rest of us want to leave and now you want to talk, well,
Yeah.
forget it. Go phone a friend. I don't want to hear
Well, that's the problem. It's the last time we're going to talk to adults today. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.